We do not have any other choices but to protect our citizens. However, we are prepared to negotiate some acceptable outcomes with all the participants of this process. But it is their business. It is not us who refuse talks. It's them.
An advisor to Ukraine's president said Putin needs to return to reality and acknowledge it is Russia that won't talk. A missile strike on Christmas Eve in the city of Kherson killed 16 people and wounded dozens more. America is listening to Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
The latest installment of the Twitter Files is out, courtesy of independent journalist Matt Taibbi. Fox's Peter Ducey has more.
It is a 30-tweet thread, and in the opinion of Matt Taibbi, finds this. The files show the FBI acting as a doorman to a vast program of social media surveillance and censorship encompassing agencies across the federal government, from the State Department to the Pentagon to the CIA. He also writes, Twitter had so much contact with so many agencies that executives lost track. The FBI does not deny that this contact happened. Instead, they are trying to explain why it happened.
The FBI says the correspondence shows nothing more than them advising the private sector how to best protect their customers, something they say they've done for multiple companies. South Korea's military says they fired warning shots and scrambled fighter jets after detecting North Korean drones in its airspace. They say it's the first time drones have violated their airspace in 5 years, and comes after North Korea fired off 2 short-range ballistic missiles Friday. One drone got as far as the northern end of South Korea's capital, Seoul. The holidays brought with them some economic cheer, especially welcome news after November retail sales fell unexpectedly.
U.S. retail sales, excluding automotive, increased 7.6% this holiday season compared to last year, according to MasterCard's Spending Pulse, which is not adjusted for inflation. A senior advisor for MasterCard says this season looked different from recent years, with consumers diversifying their holiday spending to accommodate rising prices. They also spent more for experiences and festive gatherings post-pandemic, with restaurants, for instance, seeing a 15.1% boost. Online sales continued to grow, up 10.6% from the same period last year, and Black Friday remains at the top spot for biggest spending day of the season. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
I'm Jessica Rosenthal, and this is Fox News.
All 3 stations, all 3 morning shows. Thanks to all the listeners for Pika's Best, Choice Broadcasting has swept the top 3 best radio stations. The Point, Boss 104, and Star 101. Top 3 radio personalities, Kyle Mandapat, Ray Gibson, and Daryl Lizava. Put the power of Pika's Best to work for you. If you're an advertiser, call 671-888-7346 for information, rates, and packages. And let us get your message out to Pika's Best listeners with Pika's Best Broadcasters. And thanks for listening to Pika's Best.
It's a holiday sale at American Water Tech in Tamuni. Get the Aquaflow or Hydrotech reverse osmosis drinking water system installed for $785. And that includes 1 free service, a $260 value, and 1-year limited warranty. There's also the Connecticut Home Water Softener System for $2,975. That includes 2 free services valued at $380 and a 1-year limited warranty. Call American Water Tech at 671-649-2301 or go to their website for more information at www.americanwatertech.com. Sale ends December 30th, 2022.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pika's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Half a day and good morning, Guam at 6:06 on Tuesday, December 27. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 21-year-old Mark Vincent Cruz Jr. was charged with exposing himself to a 13-year-old girl on Instagram. Court documents state that the teen told police she met Cruz on December 11 and exchanged Instagram accounts and phone numbers, engaging in small talk the next day until midnight. Then Cruz started a video call with her over Instagram, claiming he had just broken up with his girlfriend and wanted to be with the victim, saying he didn't care that she was 13. Cruz then exposed himself to the teen on the call, telling the girl, "Join in, nobody has to know." The victim reported the incident to police the following day. Cruz was charged with electronic enticement of a child and indecent electronic display to a child. After his first hearing on Friday, Cruz was released on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond and was ordered not to communicate with anyone over the internet. Meanwhile, the Guam Fire Department responded to a reported drowning in Tumon Bay on Monday morning and also pulled a kayaker and a paddleboarder from the waters at Alupang Cove an hour later. A little after 11 o'clock Monday morning, firefighters were called to the beach behind Pacific Star for a drowning. CPR was conducted on an older man who was unconscious and unresponsive and taken to GMH. The man's condition has not yet been released. Sometime after noon, firefighters were called to Alupang Cove, where two women, a kayaker and paddleboarder described to be in their 60s, were reported to be in distress. The kayaker was rescued and required no medical attention. A little before 1 o'clock, the paddleboarder was retrieved and CPR was conducted at the Hagåtña Marina before she was taken to Naval Hospital. She was identified as UOG School of Health Dean Margaret Hattori Uchima. Her daughter says she later died at the hospital. Hattori Uchima was pulled over the reef and lost her life jacket. Officials have warned of hazardous surf and rip currents and have advised inexperienced swimmers to stay out of the water. We'll have more news after this.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Public Health is encouraging residents who received a COVID-19 booster before September to get an updated bivalent booster, especially those who fall into one of the high-risk categories. This includes the elderly, people with underlying health issues, and smokers. During a COVID media briefing Thursday, health officials placed emphasis specifically on the risk posed to smokers. The habit subsequently makes catching a case of COVID and other respiratory viruses easier. And Public Health Interim Chief Medical Officer Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero says the bivalent booster is one line of defense. He adds that the booster is now approved for children 6 months old and above. While there are side effects, Leon Guerrero assures that the booster and any vaccine decreases the risk of severe disease. COVID vaccine shots may become an annual immunization to keep up with the evolving virus. COVID vaccines are currently free to the public. And there are still 18 bills passed by the 36th Guam legislature that await approval or rejection from Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Those include measures that impose additional protections for sexual assault victims and children, new regulations for hazardous waste, and the Heartbeat Act, which would ban abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected earlier than when women may know that they are pregnant. Leon Guerrero acted quickly on a couple of measures, signing the 5-month extension of the Energy Credit Program and the extension of the moratorium on fuel surcharges and most liquid fuel taxes last week. She is expected to sign more bills into law today. The legislature has recessed until Thursday, which is the day after the governor's deadline to act on the remaining bills. The governor may also choose to let measures lapse into law. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
Oh, yeah, I suppose we'll get to the weather fairly early here today. And, because I just want to underscore one simple fact here.
This is not Buffalo, New York.
There you are.
Thank God. Have you been paying attention to the weather in the U.S. mainland over the last? You have not. Oh, this is
I
just
got kids all over the mainland. There.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. So you know what it's like. So what was the deal in Colorado where Big Boy's at?
40 below.
40. It's 40 below, and a truck.
21 bottles of beer on the wall.
You know the song, huh?
I do.
It's everybody's favorite. But they're talking about. They're saying this is a once in a generation thing. And to those of you that are climate change, I don't know. You remember of the squad here. Guess what that means? That means we've seen bad weather like this before. Oh my God! So once in a generation. So, yeah, it was in the winter of 1977 in exactly the same place where we've got subarctic conditions right now, and that's in Buffalo. But thank God that we all live here on Guam. Coldest I got over there it was yesterday at the house. I'd made it to the end of TikTok yesterday, and it occurred to me how cold I was, and so I turned the air conditioner off, and it was blowing 78 degrees in the house, and I swear I had to reach over and grab me one of those blankets I stole from United. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
The brutal Guam winter.
Brutal Guam winter. I'd messaged somebody on Facebook yesterday, and I said, stay warm. And she said, well, I'm in Southern California. It's about 82 degrees here. And I said, ooh, burr. Get all frosty just thinking about it. Where's the picture? Do I have it? I think. Let me get this up on the screen. This is a portion of a video that Pam sent over. And it's talking about unbelievable natural disasters caught on tape. There is snow in Canada. God, can you imagine how cold it is there? Let me get to local weather here today. And as we just revel into the fact that it ain't going to get any harder than about 86 degrees today, with a heat index maybe 88. Not very muggy out today, not like yesterday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's partly sunny skies today. Highs near 86. Again, east-northeast winds to about 11 miles an hour. Same thing for tonight. Mostly cloudy. Overnight lows 76 degrees. Ooh, burr. Throw another log in the fire. We've got those east-northeast winds. Could be some gusts as high as 18 miles an hour tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow. Partly sunny, highs near 85. We got about the same thing happening tonight. The scattered showers and thunderstorms thing is supposed to burn off by about Thursday. Partly sunny with highs near 88 degrees. With a heat index, it'll feel like, what did I say, 94? 30% chance of rain. Rip current, hazardous surf warnings in effect right now on virtually all sides of the island. Yeah, I got some time in Tumon on Christmas Day with some buddies, and we were trying to enjoy a flotilla. And we've talked about this. Normally, what happens is you get out there and you got beers and you got these inflatables, and they generally stay where you're supposed to be. But the waves, even in Tumon, were coming up, a couple of 3 feet and pushing us around. And finally, I said, screw it, this is too hard to drink beer like this. So I just ambled over to the beach and had to move up higher onto the beach than I normally would because, number one, the tide was high, and number two, the waves, the wind was pushing the waves directly onto. It was breaking over where the grass and stuff is. Absolutely crazy. You don't see things like that, and when you do, you just got to know that it's dangerous out there. Sunrise this morning, not until 6:42. Sunset tonight will be at 6:02. There it is. News, weather together right here on The Point. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
So beautiful out there. Sunrise coming in from Santa Rita. This is from the backyard over at Ken Leon Guerrero's house. He says, Santa Rita sunrise. Red sky at morning. Sailor take warning.
Oh, boy.
Red sky at night. Raymond's Delight. It's 6:16 in the morning. What have we got here? Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines. Maybe we'll find out from the APL guy whether or not there's any truth to that red sky at morning thing a little bit later on. And global presence with the local home. Got to get that in there. Also being brought to you by the guys over at Neutral Ways. They got ideas and the tools that you need to live a long and healthy life. Find out what they are by going for an actual car ride to their place and take a look at all the goodies that they've got for you. Where's the directions now? Second floor, Daily Plaza Building in Denado. The phone number is 864-7867.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Stinking beautiful, this island that we live on, is it not? Yeah. Hey, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled as usual to be here with you. It's Tuesday. We might need to say that more than often here this morning because there might be a lot of people going, I'm not sure where we are on the calendar. What have we got ahead of us here? Okay, a couple of things. Short week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's only 4 show days for us. One of them is likely to be an abbreviated program Thursday. Jury duty. You know, it's the last detail, last important work I think I need to worry about this year is helping out the criminal justice system as we, listen to cases with all the thugs and the ne'er-do-wells and the crazy and somewhat perverted things that they're doing out there while the rest of polite society is sleeping or otherwise enjoying just the blessed times in the holiday season. And then we move into the knockdown drag out New Year's weekend. Anybody?
Wait, we got Monday off?
Yeah, we got Monday off again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we get the first day second day of the New Year's is going to be off. It's the observed holiday, if you will. So we get the Saturday off. Sunday's going to be off because it's the actual New Year's, and then Monday the observed holiday for most everybody else, and then we'll come back next Tuesday and we'll see what 2023 is going to be looking like. I was actually pondering, I was pondering putting up on the screen, somewhere this side, that side. I wanted to do the Doug countdown to Doug, you know what I mean? And just like every day you go on the radio and just here's the warning. Just every day, you know how Bob Klitzky does the warning, reading of the Second Amendment and
DEFCON.
Yeah, it's just so Crooks. As an example, Crooks. You have today? Would it be today? No, it would have been yesterday. So 6 days. 18 hours.
Oh, yeah. Threat level yellow?
Yeah, to continue having a good time with you and your ridiculous crime sprees that you're doing out there. Yeah. Because otherwise we got Doug Moylan, Eric the Eagle is going to be coming back in. And that's all there is to that. Anyway, so did everybody have a good weekend? Did you have a nice Christmas weekend?
It was great.
I know you got a ton of great
Vigil
gifts.
Mass.
A what?
Went to Vigil Mass, man.
On purpose?
I hadn't been to Mass in a long time, man.
Do you remember how it worked?
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of changed again.
Was it longer than you
expected?
It was
different, yeah.
Yeah.
And they smoked up the whole church with those
the incense.
Yeah, almost died.
They sang everything, right? Yeah. It's one of those masses where we can't talk the words. We have to sing all of the words.
And you can kiss the baby now.
Hey. Yeah.
They got clearance, man.
Yeah. So, it is a miracle that we've never had a pandemic here on Guam before because we get the little Niño Jesus, and they take the baby around and so like everybody that I know has got some kind of active booger. You might even be able to detect a little bit of booger in my voice.
We all do right now.
You know why? Because everybody kissed the baby.
Yeah.
and
he's a little dirty looking Ray.
The height of sanitation with the altar boy just lightly wafting it with a handkerchief. Okay, next. Okay, we'll try to get some more germs off of this now. Oh yeah. So what else we got here? That's why everybody has got a little bit of, what do they call that? You got the lip sores up there on a thing.
Wow,
Herpes.
Ray.
That's the word I'm looking for. It all started.
You went there
with the baby being trucked around the village. Anyway, yeah. So vigil mass, and then did they let you open a present after the mass, and then the opening up the old presents on Sunday?
I don't get presents. I'm a dad now, dude.
Oh,
I don't
so
get
you were
presents.
you were giving out presents.
Yeah.
All right.
A few.
So, well, I don't know. I still got goodies. Even though I got Amy what she wanted for her birthday / Christmas, also managed to get in a few other things. And she gave me, and I should have brought it in because eventually it's going to go on the dashboard of a truck. It's one of these little dancing hula things. It's
man.
Yeah. So you put it on a dashboard, and
now
then
I want one. Dude.
Yeah, I don't know where she got it.
What are you doing, man?
But so I'm kind of looking forward to getting the thing.
Dashboard dancer.
Dashboard hula thing. And I was going to go like, no, it's so nice. Maybe I just put it somewhere in the house, in a private place or something. She said, no, Dad, put it in I want to be able to see this thing while we're driving. Okay, got that. Somebody gave my brother. Somebody gave my brother a membership. Are you ready for this? To the Heritage website.
Oh, what is that?
It's a family genealogy website.
Oh.
Yeah, and among the things that it does, among the other things that it does, is you can take old pictures of your dead relatives, upload them into the thing, and it will colorize them. Number one, it'll do some colorization on it, and number two, what it will also animate using the AI, artificial intelligence. It'll also animate their faces. You've seen this.
Yes,
You've seen the thing before
with the Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, but they've got another one now, and it might almost be worth buying a membership to the thing. Is they will take your face and then AI stitch it to different historical periods. So you can look like a caveman version of you, and then there's I guess maybe a rock and roll 50s,
like we look right now
with the receding hairline. Yeah, I mean I'm wondering what kind you did. Because you're bald head, right? So I imagine that
bald caveman.
First thing that would come out is you as a monk. Which could you
a friar, Ray? How about a friar?
Like that, friar. Yes, Friar Real Joe. I like the idea. 6:23 in the morning. So that's what he got, and I'm kind of looking for. I might play around with the app a little bit later on, and if there's a fun one and it doesn't cost me too much money, I'll let you know. But the crazy thing was now all of a sudden, my brother's super interested in the family genealogy, and so he spent. The app asked a couple of questions yesterday that I knew the answer to, but I needed to double check, right? So I broke out all of my familial historical documents, and then I started sending out pictures and all of that stuff. I might share a couple of pictures of me and Shelley or at least Shelley and my Uncle Jim in the little club part of a Japan Airlines 747 back in 1972.
Wow.
My first trip to Japan. 6:24. The Donna D's in the studio. Good morning, Donna. How you doing? How was your blessed Christmas weekend?
Huh?
Huh? Just a whirlwind of activities, all go no stop.
I slept a lot.
Good girl. I did the same thing. I'd wake up, and just giggle to myself that I didn't have to show up at work, and go, okay, I don't have to wake up. I can go right back to sleep. In fact, the only thing that woke me up yesterday, is it yesterday, the day before? Yeah, yesterday was all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up, and it's mostly Real Joe giggling because people are beeping him asking why there's no Ray Gibson show.
They said, "Are you guys okay?" I was like, "Yes, we're fine." Ray's sleeping right next to me. We're off today, man.
Yeah, not working. It's a program note. We're not going to be here next Monday either. So
don't ask.
Ponder that in your head, and like I said, there's going to be giggling about waking up at 4 and going right back to sleep. What a beautiful and blessed feeling. I hope everybody got their share of that over the weekend. So I'd wake up and I'd go to the couch and I'd check my email and my WhatsApps and everything, and then I go, oh, I'm so tired. I go back to I took a couple of early naps on Saturday or on Sunday and yesterday. It's just absolutely glorious. So what did you do? Did you do anything substantial, holy, family?
Well, at the last minute, we had to go to brunch.
I have to go to brunch.
Yeah, because I had intended to stay home all day on Sunday. Right, but then my mom wanted to go to brunch, so I'm like, okay, then.
Okay, fine.
200
Oh
a
my
person.
God, Becky! Yeah.
150 per child.
We did it right. We did it. The family did it right. The ladies of the family, you can always count on them to make the right decision. The ladies of the family, we tossed around the idea. I mentioned this last week. We tossed around the idea of one of the siblings, hosting it at their house, and who was going to be in charge of what. High paper plates and ice. That's me. Need plastic forks and knives. Okay, I'm your man. But no cooking, because otherwise everybody will get E. coli and salmonella poisoning. But anyway, so we went through the process, and it was decided mostly by the girls. Hey, you know what? Let's go eat someplace and not have to worry about cleaning before the family arrives, cleaning after everybody is done, cooking through the whole process, and dealing with everything. So phone call was made, reservations were made for a get together on Saturday over at Pirates Cove, and that was just a lovely, lovely time. And Jeff, we didn't get a chance to see Jeff, but everybody treated us like the big shot celebs
Jeff
that we
split,
are.
right? He's like, they're coming down. I'm out of here.
I gotta go. Just he might have been lurking in the background, just kind of hiding. Going, are they still there? They're still there. Okay. Anyway, so 627, lots and lots to get to on the table of contents. Some of it substantive, of course. We'll deal with all of those kinds of things before too much longer. One of the other things is it's Tuesday, right? And the Hawaii Free Press is absolutely cranking today.
It's blowing up right now.
Oh my God!
What's going on over there?
I'll tell you. On the other after we say good morning to this righteous and jolly crowd.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
627, 628 in the morning. Everybody knows your name around here. Hi, you know that guy Gibson? He bounces checks all the time. Boy, there's a phrase you don't hear very often. Bounce checks. You know where you can see the phrase bounce checks today? There's in one of the newspapers over the weekend. There was a story in there about Evan Montalval Cohen reporting for jail. And they use that. They quote the judge at the end of it, talking about how he'd get involved in these businesses, and then all of a sudden checks start bouncing. And so I just thought I'd use that as an excuse to bring up what I thought was an interesting story. 628 in the morning. All right, number one, I see Nate Horn is there. Immediately followed by Charles Craw, Valerie S.A. Untalan, saying, get back to work, y'all. And then following that up with a question, is there anybody at Macy's? Anybody at Macy's?
Returns?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the returns. Can I get a credit for this here? This lingerie doesn't fit me, and I'd like to exchange it for something else maybe that does. Henry Manglotnia online. Valerie, to answer your question, my buddy Renee, who is running the accounting shop over there, will beep in just a little bit and let me know what the hours are. He sent me a thing last week, but I'm far too lazy to look for it myself. Beautiful Sarita Corinne says, I don't want to work. My dear, you have to work. I've seen pictures of you and the kids and your Thanksgiving or your Christmas little setup with the tree and the jammies. What's the matter? The big boy didn't want to wear matching pajamas, huh? And I saw that incredible spread of toys, and I can only imagine that I know Santa brought some, but I'm pretty sure that Mom's got a huge stash in there. So you got to go back to work to pay for all of that Christmas goodness. Jay Naut is online. I got Ruel the Rooster Drillon, Linda Gabriel, Gemma Bustamante. Is it New Year's Eve yet? Asking for a friend, huh? Ed Bandit's asking for a Donna D jingle. Keena McCausland from, I want to say, the frozen Northwest. But I think, oddly, there might actually be reasonable temps up there, considering it's where it is and it's this time of year. Vince Delgado is there. Manny and Ning Regis. Good morning to Jose Tetpagu. Brennan Foster. Hell no, I'm fully retired. He ain't going back to work anywhere. Lucia Fleming Wood is there. Cousin Troy online here this morning.
Good morning, Chilla.
Loved your write-up about your old man and the social media. That was really, really nice. The amazing and incredible Joe Cruz. Hey, real Joe Cruz. Dennis Benzer, super high. Ron Castro Castro, MJ Regis, Jose Tetpago. I love this. Sarita says, almost Friday. Yeah, I got a discount on the week, right? Eric Chong and Striker Vidza Gomez. Rudy Rodolfo, the original Burger King, online here this morning saying Merry Christmas on everybody. What did you get for Christmas? OMG, a Traeger. I'll be right over. Okay, that's Brad Wood who got the Traeger.
Yeah.
Has managed. Did we get pictures of that? We did, right?
Yeah, I saw that. He did a
of,
turkey, man, and it came out beautiful.
Was that a turkey?
Yeah, I was drooling. Yeah,
okay.
It's a huge turkey.
I just thought it was a big chicken. I wasn't really sure.
I could be wrong.
Andre Sonodo is online. What's that? Make sure you hit the weather jingle for the traffic, says Dennis. Brandon, John Diego. Let's go, Brandon. Dave Eckert, have a nice last Tuesday of the year. You know, Dave, this is the last everything of the year, isn't it? I mean, between now and we just the weekend, Christmas weekend was the last full weekend of the year, and we make our way into the New Year's, and it will be the last Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of 2022. Kennedy Robinson's there, MT Farron, Kenny Williams, Tina Garcia. What could be the coldest temperature in Guam? Tina, I want to say it was in the high 60s once upon a time. We might get Landon to confirm that. And Kenny Williams, Ken and his wife are in Hawaii. I don't know if you've been following them on social.
Sure.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is they're retracing the steps of Jack Lord.
Oh,
from
I see.
The original Hawaii 5-0. In fact, when Kenny comes back, he will have Jack Lord style hair. Wouldn't that the best?
Book him, Dano.
Exactly. Let me see. Juanita Machi is there. Vancouver is melting down, says Keena. Juanita Machi online. Dennis Larson, the amazing and incredible Dennis Larson, B-Man, is there. We saw him and Viv on Saturday over at Pirates Cove. Vivian, and then they went on tour of the South.
Oh, they were cycling. Motorcycling.
Did the thing out there. Scott K. Armstrong, Cecile Suda, Tommy Bernardo, Tim Zeneker, Buenos Anafade, to Marla Carbolito Castro saying good morning to everybody. That's nice. Simon Sanchez, CCU dudes online. So is Colin Clark saying Govguam dependent on you. Get your arse up, Zenfatsotsu. Jesse Nanetti Aurelio Parade. Good morning to Jeff Pleadwell from Pirates Cove. Nice Felix Bumba and Joanne Titano. Buenos Anafade to the hot sis of the show. That's Pam Duvall. Who's sending? You know what? And I wasn't kidding. I said I tried to make it to the end of TikTok the other day, and I can't tell you just how much laugh out loud I got from watching the view from somebody's house in one of these hills in Seattle. And I don't know exactly where it is, but I've heard of it, and a couple of other roads where you cannot go up this hill after it's snowy and icy. And if you accidentally start going down the hill, you'll hit the brakes. You can pull up the handbrake, but the car will still move, and it will hit other cars. Bang, 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 bang. There's a video of a police car that somebody had walked away from. It's like the cops got out to check something, and the car just starts drifting down, go bang, and then that car hits another one. Come back, like those little balls, right? They're attached on the swing, and they swing, and you hit one over here, and then the one from the other side comes out. Just kinetic motion you can't get rid of. Who's that? Valerie Carbazidou is watching the program this morning. Off of Pretty. Nice to see, let me see, Auntie Bennett Lujan Dueña saying hi and good morning to everybody. A little bit, Elizabeth Cammett Brooks, off a day to Amanda James. And let me see, Ken Augustin, EOD Kaboom. What do we know about EOD, guys?
Hot girlfriends.
Switching to radio, says Pam. All right. Sarita. All right, because I was asking. We saw the pictures, and there's Sarita in the Christmas pajamas, and there's Mandy in her Christmas pajamas, and there's young Chancey in his Christmas pajamas, and then there's Big Brother. Looks like he just kind of walked into the middle of all of this. Apparently. She says he did not fit his Christmas pajamas. All right, gotcha. Steve Applegate is watching.
Dude.
Are you home, dude? Are you back? Because the last time I saw a picture of you, you were out in Kentuckiana or someplace in the States.
Yeah,
and
he's cruising out there.
Saw that picture, and bro, it looked cold where you are. 6:35. Now, the other thing that looks cold, I don't know if you're paying attention to it, but have you been watching football over the weekend?
Yeah.
Dude, there was massive amounts of football playing. That was, and I forgot to mention it last week, was, as if you don't have, any family or friends to hang out with, and it's kind of a loser, and you're wondering how you're going to kill your time on Christmas Day. Just football. We got, is it too early for, there's one last game for week 16. And that's going to be at 11 or so this morning. It's the Chargers and the Colts, and then we'll start on Friday into week number 17. The season is almost over, and we'll start figuring out who it is that's going to be making it into playoffs and eventually going off to the Super Bowl, where it's probably someplace cold.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyway, 6:35, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. Donna, do you want to get started on news and headlines? You about ready for the 6:30-ish cast? What? Okay. I gotta fix my hair. Okay, now with news and headlines.
I was switching headphone connections.
Oh,
I'm editing on my laptop.
Oh,
for Star.
She's that good. All right, time now. We'll reckon up some news and headlines with Donna D. How about what happened?
Drug smugglers and food stamp fraudsters are set to learn their fate in separate sentencing hearings in district court today. Fritz Ganzon admitted to trying to smuggle meth from the Philippines in 2017. Bastiano Joyce admitted to food stamp fraud at his local fish store. And Shelly DeHapa had multiple encounters with police on drug-related offenses. Meanwhile, Revenue Tax and DOA processed and sent out 110 individual tax refunds last week by check and by direct deposit. This batch totals nearly $350,000 for tax year 2021 and prior for error-free tax returns filed on or before December 17. And the National Weather Service is warning swimmers about high surf and rip currents creating hazardous ocean conditions. A high surf advisory is in effect until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. A high rip current risk advisory is also in effect until late tonight. A northwest swell is expected to maintain dangerous swimming and surfing conditions and localized beach erosion. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Well, this is going to be an interesting morning. There's a magistrate report that has got a story about a dude named Casey Rayfand getting in trouble. Yeah, well, you know why? Because this is what I was looking for. I was doing a Google search on my emails. I've got magistrate reports with Casey Rayfand's name going back to 2016.
Oh, an old friend.
Yeah. It's almost 2023, and I'm wondering at which point
Casey.
we're going to be. He will find a way to get in jail and stay there forever and ever and ever. Amen. Here's one from 2015 in a magistrate report back there, and some of you are wondering out loud, hey. How in the hell do you have emails going back to 2015? It's a Gmail thing. I've had Gmail since it practically was available, and I've always used it. And it's so easy to just let the things pile up. So I've got something like 250,000 emails that I haven't even bothered to read. I haven't bothered opening up. So I just leave everything there. I don't bother erasing anything or deleting anything unless it's somebody's email that's critical of me. Phew, right away. But otherwise, I just let them pile up, and that way I can do searches that go back in this case to at least 2015 and find out what this guy is just knuckleheading around and what he's guilty of. Now I'll fill you in on the latest of the Casey Rayfand stories and another one of those moments of safety that we have around here. I might even have another one of these bad girls doing bad things.
Oh no!
Magistrate reports.
Yeah.
I think some woman stabbed a guy with a pair of pliers.
True love.
Yeah, you just know it. 6:39 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show, probably going to continue right after these incredible messages.
Chef Taka serves up his take on traditional Japanese dishes. Taka also features a sushi bar using only the freshest seafood. Nigiri, sushi rolls, and sashimi made to order straight to your table. Lunch specials available, served with rice, salad, and soup with savory dishes like tonteki pork chop, which is an island favorite. Dinner is izakaya style, so you may enjoy a variety of items. Come on down today to Taka Restaurant to experience traditional Japanese cuisine served up by Chef Taka. Located in Timuning next to First Hawaiian Bank, call us at 969-TAKA. That's 969-8252.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3, Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Oh, wow. I'm glad the football game isn't starting until after the show today. There's already a bunch of people that are lined up and excited about this. Chad Nathan Sablana scores says, "Go Chargers, baby, San Diego by heart." Mike Grace Blas says, "Football is the devil." But see, Mike Grace Blas, when in doubt, don't go out. Not football related, but always good advice. And Brennan Fausto says, "Yes, indeed, my team, NFL Green Bay, won over the weekend." That's nice. Ike Kaseki and Tattoo Shauna have checked in this morning. All right, so it's time to take a look at what's happening on the roadways, right? That's the music bed playing. Let me see here. A little bit of traffic up at Anderson Air Force Base leading up to the main gate up there. Not sure exactly why. Maybe it's another one of these days where the airman lost the keys. What have I got? Southbound Marine Corps Drive. Otherwise, looking pretty good. 1 and 3, a little bit busy on the southbound side from over at the intersection of the Micronesia Mall. What do we got? Camp Leon Guerrero, Route 16. A little bit busy at that intersection. That's for folks getting off of Route 16. Otherwise, it's clear all the way to 8, 10, and 16. Nothing major at 10 and 15. 4 and 10 looking pretty good. I got just a little bit of dogging out traffic over by Harvest and that intersection there on Route 8. Otherwise, if you're thinking about if it doesn't make all that much difference, you might want to take 4 into the office this morning because as of right now, it looks pretty good. In fact, it looks good all the way down to Big Navy in Sumai. It's 6:42. There's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro.
Crop King Hydro.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
Yeah, let's tell you, it's official. The sun is up. Got some great early morning pictures from Sarita Garin's backyard. And yeah, it looks like, I mean, if that's indicative of what today is going to be like, then we've got a gorgeous day in front of us. According to the weather people, they'll be very, very careful in and around the water. I tell you what, I got the word yesterday, like everybody else did. Maybe one of those email blasts or things from the PDN talking about the death of Dr. Hattori. How do we say her last name? Ochima? Yeah. She's been a guest on the program a number of times. And regardless of what we were supposed to be talking about, it always came down to a couple of things. Number one is her love for the students and the faculty at the University of Guam, but also a connection that she had to somebody that when I first started in a news talk radio game, one of the guys that we would call is her old man, and his name was Paul Hattori. And he'd passed away a few years ago as well. But he was the guy, if there was a little trembler, if there was a little bit of earth shake going on, he was the guy that you called. And you could reach out to this guy in the middle of the night. If you felt something at 3 o'clock in the morning, you could dial him up, and he'd be able to give you at least a preliminary number, which was always his guesses were better than anybody else's so-called random stuff. He was just a terrific guy. And, well, I'm unhappy to hear that she has passed. I hope that they are together in heaven. Father-daughter reunion. 6:44 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Be very, very careful out there. She wasn't the only one that had to be pulled from the ocean. As I said, I was in that water in Tumon on Sunday, and it occurred to me just how rough it was. And I wasn't any further than about 10 or 15 feet from the shore, because you never want to get away that far away from the cooler if you're me. But it was, and the towel in my chair, and all of the
you got the cooler tethered to your leg
of all of that. Well, you know what? I've yet to buy one, and maybe I ought to make that my goal, my beach infrastructure goal for the year. So something like a chair that can be somewhat stationary, or an anchor. I swear, one of these days I'm just going to anchor, put something down there, and with a little clip like the boat cruises do. and you just kind of pull the thing up. Anyway, so I might do something like that. But maybe this will be the year I will go to Amazon and find myself one of those, like a floating cooler thing. Right, where you can load it up with seltzers. I'd load it up with seltzers, whatever, and it can float like right next to you. That way, and someplace to put the trash. That way, I don't have to go back and forth between the beach and the shore. But it was just weird how much current there was inshore and that close to the beach. Be careful out there. Never turn your back on the Guam waters. It should be a rule. 6:46 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Other incredible items in the table of contents. Anybody get pulled over? Was anybody arrested for a DUI over the weekend?
Almost.
You were that close?
Yeah.
Friday night?
Had to go through that checkpoint area.
I watched it happen. I was at Denny's.
Did they have one near Denny's?
Yeah. Well, I saw like the blue flashing light, so I assumed that was a checkpoint because all of a sudden it just appeared.
It was there. It wasn't there. It was there.
Yeah,
that's indicative of that. That I know of, nobody that I know of was arrested in that. You know why? And I almost feel bad for the cops. Is because, when they first started the whole checkpoint thing, that was a long time ago, and there wasn't anything like social media and WhatsApps.
Yeah.
But as soon as these guys put one of these pop-up checkpoints together, bam! Your WhatsApp is going crazy, and it's not like everybody's like letting me know that there are checkpoints. I think it's kind of an island-wide broadcast, and then it's on Facebook. Oh, by the way, if you're going this way, that way, just FYI, there's a checkpoint. Of course, they're not telling you so that you can drink like crazy and avoid the checkpoints. They're letting you know because they tend to slow down traffic in those areas. And my goodness, I got to get to midnight mass. So I just wonder, to what degree those are successful, and to what degree that they do anything anymore to prevent people from driving drunk, because everybody's got the WhatsApp. And trust me now, we're breaking another law. I might guarantee that they read those WhatsApps while they were driving, doing one of these things. Hey, checkpoint this way. Better hang a Louie around here and maybe avoid that. Take the low roads, if you will, in the villages, to avoid that kind of thing. So I just wonder how successful it is. I was looking at the magistrate reports over the last couple of days, and did not notice any DUI violations that were kicked up by those things. And like I said, I don't know anybody personally that might have gotten away or gotten arrested as a result of that. 6:48. There's other things that are floating around here in my head. And it comes from a couple of different versions of the newspapers that I have. Let me see if I take a look at the front page of today's Guam Daily Post. PDN still having problems with their printer.
Yeah.
Everybody that works in an office has got a problem with the printer. You got to call the printer kuya about once a week, and apparently the printer kuya on Guam is incapable of repairing the one that they've got for the Daily Post. Though, what's weird? Can I tell you what's weird?
Sure.
I don't know why they aren't, but there was a once upon a time where PDN, as I understood it, wasn't able to print on their own equipment, and then they'd give the paperwork over to the people at Guam Daily Post and say,
the floppy drive.
Can you print? Here's the floppy drive. Here's the thumb drive with today's newspaper on it.
Can you print it for us?
But yeah, they used to do that, so I don't know why they aren't anymore. Because there's people that are going, yeah, it's weird. You go to wherever, King's or McDonald's, where you're starting your day at, and wondering where the newspaper is. At any rate, so today's Guam Daily Post, 18 bills awaiting the governor's action. And, of course, there's always a blurb in there about the Guam Heartbeat Act. And John O'Connor cannot write about the Guam Heartbeat Act, which would ban abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected earlier than when women may know that they are pregnant. He's always going to throw that deal in there to make it sound like there's built-in or inherent unfairness in the legislation. Anyway, so more on that as the governor's got some time to figure out what she's going to do with certain pieces of legislation. Then there's this one here. You heard Donna talking about it earlier. A guy accused of using social media to expose himself to a teen. And maybe that's one of the dangers, if you will, of giving such advanced technology to young people. I have a hard time rolling around the internet. I get messages, all kinds of stuff. Hey, you want to be my friend? From people that I know that are from here, and then you friend them, and then they send you the message that looks exactly the same every single time. Hi, how are you? You know, and that's when I know I'm not dealing with somebody from Guam, because otherwise, if it was, it's real Joe.
I don't
Sup,
care
dog?
how you are.
That's the way we find
Sup,
out
dog?
how we doing. Why, you cockskated dude? How you doing, man? How's your mom? Those are the kinds of, and so I try to throw them off my trail. I'm a little bit busy right now. I'm deep in prayer. So maybe we can chat again in another, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. 10 away from the top of the hour here. But there was a story that I was going to talk about, the kind of pervs that we've got in social media. I don't think it's going to be in this version of the newspaper, but and it's not going to be in the Sunday. The Sunday version of the Daily Post, there's nothing.
No.
There's absolutely no news in this. There it is. Fraudulent SNAP use tied to COVID-19 hardships. And this is the interesting numbers on this. And there's always going to be corruption when you got free money floating around, the SNAP cards. People have figured out how they're able to turn those SNAP benefits into cash, how to turn those SNAP benefits into drugs, how to turn those SNAP benefits into just bartered arrangements with all kinds of people that you're not necessarily supposed to be doing. Since 2020, DPHSS has seen an increase in the overall number of recipients under the Nutritional Assistance Program. In FY 2020, there are 58,516 individuals that are otherwise eligible. Stand by, I got to go to page 8. And then in FY 21, what did I say that first number was? 58,516. In FY 21, last year, for which the numbers are available, 68,836 eligible members, 23,000 households or cases, according to the folks over at the Department of Public Health and Social Services. An incredible increase, and we don't know what the FY 22 numbers are. What's it going to look like there? What will it look like in the final analysis? There's a whole heck of a lot of people that are having a hard time making ends meet, and frankly could use those kind of benefits. But alarming, in that is a incredible reflection of the state of our economy, that there are so many people. It's almost 70,000 people. There's only 150,000 of us, 155,000 of us on Guam. That's would be half of the population that would be eligible for the SNAP. And it looks like the numbers are going to either stay where they are, continue in terms of the actual benefits. Worth looking up if you've got some time a little bit later on today. But what does that give you any hope for the future with that significant number of folks? And it was kind of, I want to say it was kind of on display. I was driving around on Christmas Day, because that's how I got. The beach is not at my house, and I don't live at the beach, so I had to go from my place up and down Marine Corps Drive, pick up some provisions here, and then found myself over at the beach. And it occurred to me as I was driving around, Christmas Day, how many apparently homeless people there were, just kind of walking around. Where are you headed? This guy over here, random dudes walking around, random guys, just kind of ambling, not with family, not with friends, and just kind of going from point A to point B. Maybe you saw the same thing over the weekend as well. I don't know what to do about all of that kind of thing, and I hope that people are able to find out a little bit more about them and get them to the help that they need if they want that kind of help. 6:55 in the morning, and shouts to the folks over at iRecycle. They've made enough money in the iRecycle program to put some of those dollars back to schools. We'll get some more details on that before too much longer. But Peggy Denny has just done an outstanding job, and I think of Peggy Denny every time I drink a beer. Because for the most part, they come in cans, the beers that I drink in. And I am up to, and maybe you know what, I'm wondering if my bags that I dropped off over at Tamuning Elementary, I'm wondering if those were the bags that tipped them over and got them to that point where we can say, oh my God, we're finished with, let's go and take, it says according to the store, you get 75 cents a pound for your empties.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right? You for that kind of money. Yeah, you would think that there's, and don't ask me how many cans make up a pound. I know that was the next question, and the answer is I don't know. Somebody online knows the answer to that question, and they will say so on the Facebook side or the YouTube side. I'll check in with YouTube in a couple of minutes. But what's that? Nothing. What? 35? 35? She's that good. So 35 empty beer cans will equals 1 pound. Okay, gotcha. Challenge accepted. Thank you very much. I want to get that. I want to get that 75 cents. Now, do I want that? I just Peggy, if you're listening, I've got 3 bags at the house. 3 bags of aluminum cans, empties, that are ready to get dropped off probably at Tamuning Elementary again. It's not the closest school, but what the heck, it's on the way between here and home, and maybe that will help out. I'll even try to drink faster and more. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just going, just 24 hours.
Just trying to help.
Yes, exactly. 24 hours a day, 24 cans in a case. There's got to be, it cannot be a coincidence. 6:55 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. There's a little bit more to the conversation, and hopefully everybody enjoyed their 3-day weekend. If you were employees of the state of Hawaii, it would have been a 4-day weekend for you. They got the day off on Friday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, obviously, and Monday. So if you're listening in Hawaii, hope you're enjoying that last day of the weekend. Now I told you that in the minds of maybe someone in Hawaii, you just think about that, about the governor and whatever. Oh, you got the day after Thanksgiving. Wow, what a big deal! And people in Hawaii going, wait, hold my beer, brother. Let's go with a 4-day holiday weekend. We can do it. We can do this now. Good, hard-working people of the government of the state of Hawaii have earned themselves a day off, what with all of the pandemic and everything going on. But it is not without its bumps. And you know who's complaining about this?
Who?
You know who's complaining about the deal? Teachers. Teachers in Hawaii are complaining about the deal. Do you know why?
Makeup days?
They were already on vacation.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they don't get the benefit of a paid day off. They were already on vacation. So they were already not being required to report to work. They were in the middle of their Christmas break. And so they already had an untold numbers of days off. But the problem is they weren't getting paid to be off. That was just vacation stuff. It was their time, on the calendar off. And now you got the teachers in the great state of Hawaii saying, whoa, what about us, cuz? What? You're only going to take care of what? The cops, the firemen, the nurses, and the doctors in the hospital. But what about us that are teaching your kids? The KKs, what are they going to learn? Huh? And this is what you're going to learn. There is no good deed that goes unpunished, even if you were Governor Josh Green. Governor has gifted state employees with 2 extra days of paid time off. Hawaii's 12,600 public school teachers are unsure how they will benefit, since contractually they're already on vacation during the school's winter breaks. They're standing around with their hands out like the rest of the state employees going, well, hey, you gave it to them, now you got to give it to us. What do you suppose? This is one of those Ray Gibson truisms where it doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what the nature of the disaster is or the nature of the benefit. The teachers always get screwed in the end. I actually know a couple of teachers in Hawaii, so I'm going to reach out to them and find out how they're going to be dealing with that while they're enjoying a day that would have been a paid holiday for them had things gone in the other direction. Couple of minutes away from the top of the hour. There is yet more to talk about here on the program, including a thing called chaos cooking. What? What's that?
What?
It's
sounds like your kitchen, Ray.
It's chaos cooking. It's where like everybody's mashing up different flavors. They started doing that with like kids' juices. Where you'd get like kiwi fruit and celery and carrots, and they'd go, "Ooh, this is so good." Just whatever, because kids don't have a sense of taste anyway. But they're doing this now with grown-ups. It's chaos cooking, described as part neo-fusion, part middle finger. Huh?
Oh, I like it already.
Yeah, it's kind of sounds fun. Let's work on this together, shall we? There's got to be a way that we can do this. Neo fusion. Can you imagine Neo fusion, middle finger, and some of our favorite chamorro recipes? We'll work on the concept. I'll give you more of that on the other side of news and headlines. And that's where we're headed now. Closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning, straight up. News from Fox News. We'll find out just how cold the depth of the freeze that is the mainland United States of America right now. And there might be some other stories to find out if anybody's put a signature finally on that $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. $500 million worth of benefits for the state of Hawaii. What numbers did we rise up to? What are we, a couple of million here, a couple of million there? We'll watch and see how it plays out. Stand by now. Fox News Live is coming up next. KUSG, I got you. This is The Point.
I'm Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News. Russia's President Vladimir Putin said Sunday he's been willing to negotiate, but that Ukraine's leaders and their Western allies have refused. An official with President Zelensky's office said that's a lie. Christmas Eve, a missile strike killed several people in Kherson and wounded dozens more. Fox's Nate Foy is in Kyiv.
President Zelensky calls that attack on Kherson terrorism. He said that over the weekend. He has a new message for Ukrainians tonight as we head into the new year. But some new allegations from Russia. In the early morning hours, Russian military officials say Ukraine launched a drone at an airbase deep in Russia, killing 3 Russian service members. Now, Russia says that it shot the drone down, but debris from the drone is what killed those 3 soldiers. Ukraine is not officially taking credit for this attack, but one military official calls it, quote, the consequence of Russian aggression.
Ukraine's foreign minister tells the Associated Press they're aiming for a UN peace summit by February. The National Guard's been called in to help search for people in the Buffalo area of New York where the winter storm left people trapped in homes and cars. 25 people had been confirmed killed so far. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown says as the storm subsides, people are looting.
They're just looting items that they want. So these aren't even people in distress. These are people that are taking advantage of a natural disaster and the suffering of many in our community to take what they want from retailers.
Around 50 people in all have been killed across the country, and that number could go higher still. As millions have dealt with storm-related power outages, some in the Tacoma, Washington area lost power after 3 substations were attacked.
The fenced area was broken into and vandalism was done to the equipment inside.
Pierce County Sheriff Sergeant Darian Moss says they're investigating. America is listening to Fox News.
Subway's new series of sandwiches also includes the Italianos. And you can't say no to sandwich number 4, especially when the Supreme meats with Black Forest ham, Genoa salami, and pepperoni now includes capicola. And the famous MVP Parmesan vinaigrette.
The number 6 Boss Meatball Sandwich has pepperoni and fresh mozzarella.
I'll raise your mozzarella with number 5, the Bella Mozza, which also includes Subway's newly added capicola.
It's obvious. We got to continue this debate on the next Subway Chicken Series level.
At Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh.
Happy holidays, Guam. From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GBB will announce the theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instagram to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate this season of giving.
A pandemic health policy that kept millions of migrants out of the country was set to end last week, but the Supreme Court put everything on hold. With record-breaking numbers of people coming, even with Title 42 in place, National Border Patrol Council Vice President John Anfinson told Fox News Live.
Every sector at this point is bracing for what's to come because every sector has been expelling people under Title 42.
Members of Congress on both sides of the aisle have worried the Biden administration doesn't have a sufficient plan in place to deal with what's expected to be even more people. It's getting harder to find over-the-counter medication right now as many in America, especially kids, are sick.
Many pharmacy shelves stripped of products with a triple-demic of the flu, COVID, RSV, now with strep throat. Getting in on it all with demand outpacing supply, price gougers. The New York Attorney General's office aware of reports of children's medication being sold online and in stores at 2 or 3 times retail value. Children's painkillers and fever reducers like Tylenol, Motrin, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, and aspirin. Attorney General Tish James asking parents to be on alert, report any examples of price gouging. New York and many state laws ban merchants from taking unfair advantage on the price of goods and services vital to health and safety. But the AG says it's not price gouging for retailers to put limits on how much you can buy. Therese Crowley, Fox News.
A top UN official in Kabul met with the Taliban economy minister after he announced a ban on women working with non-governmental organizations in Afghanistan. He asked him to reverse the ban. 4 major humanitarian groups have said they can no longer work in the country without their female staff, and that this will have catastrophic consequences for the population, which is already suffering hunger and a collapsed economy. The ban was apparently implemented after the Taliban determined some were not covering their heads properly. I'm Jessica Rosenthal, and this is Fox News.
Wow,
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup.
Including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
It's not an accident to live a healthy, long life. It's a choice. The food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe. A deep, restful sleep along with exercise will put you on a good path to live a healthier, longer life. At NutriWay Systems, we choose to help people find the right solutions to live a longer, healthier life. Make the right choice. NutriWay Systems. Come by our office today. We are located on the second floor of the Daily Plaza in Dededo, or give us a call at 671-864-7867.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. A convicted rapist had a majority of his criminal sexual conduct charges reversed on appeal because of insufficient evidence. Mookie Joseph Callahan is currently serving 50 years in prison for raping 2 children in 2011. He was 16 years old at the time and accused of sexually abusing a then 7-year-old girl and a then 4-year-old boy known to him. The justices agreed that there was not enough evidence, reversing multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct convictions and sending it back to the Superior Court for Callahan to be resentenced. This is the second time Callahan appealed his case to the Supreme Court. And Evan Montville Cohen is in the custody of U.S. Marshals pending his designation to a federal prison, where he will spend nearly 7 years for an identity theft conviction. He turned himself in to DOC on Friday and was forced to go to prison early after he failed to get a real ID card. The court gave him 2 weeks after sentencing to get an ID so that he could travel and self-surrender to a designated federal prison stateside. Since missing that deadline, the defense asked that Montville Cohen get one chance to spend Christmas with his family. Chief Judge Francis Tydinko Gatewood denied the request, landing him behind bars earlier than expected. Montville Cohen was sentenced to serve 82 months in federal prison for illegal use of identification in furtherance of fraud and bank fraud. He was also ordered to pay nearly $75,000 in restitution and to serve 5 years of supervised release after completing his sentence. More news after this.
Half a day. Burger King fans rejoice. The new Italian Royal Crispy Chicken is now available. Crispy white meat breast filet topped with warm marinara sauce. Melty mozzarella cheese on a toasted brioche bun. Top this off with jalapeno bites and a refreshing Coke Zero. Of course, like all good things, the Italian Royal Chicken will only be available for a limited time. Happy holidays from your friends at BK in Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, the Micronesia Mall, and the airport. You rule.
More money could be on the way for Guam for future historic preservation projects with Congress's passage of the National Heritage Area Act. The act included language from Congressman Mike Sinicolas's H.R. 2899 to have a study conducted on Guam. Sinicolas is confident these areas include ancient Chamorro sites, Spanish colonial sites, World War sites, and ecological sites across the island. He says at the conclusion of the study, the findings will then provide the necessary clearance for those areas to be formally designated by law, enabling them to receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal support to maintain, enhance, and protect them for proper showcasing and preservation. The federal funding has been available since 1972. And public health officials say the COVID-19 pandemic not only impacted people's health, but has also pushed some to misuse federal assistance under SNAP. The local health emergency was declared in March 2020, and people lost jobs and found themselves turning to the government for assistance to augment whatever they had left. Public health spokesperson Grace Bordalio says The department has seen an increase in the overall number of recipients under SNAP, and 11 SNAP recipients have been suspended temporarily or terminated as a result of misuse since the start of the pandemic. Bordalio adds that the increase in SNAP first-timers was due to temporary increases in income caps approved by Congress as a way to assist Americans who suffered financially during the pandemic. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
I'll get around to the weather stuff here,
Well,
but
keep
is
scrolling. What's that?
What's that?
What are you scrolling at? Is that TikTok?
There's another Twitter files dump. Elon Musk has been doing this pretty much since he took over, and people started reviewing internal documents over at Twitter, and even the Fox News Live in the last hour, they were talking about how the FBI is trying to downplay their role there. No, we didn't really do anything or ask anybody to suppress any information or what we deemed misinformation, or we did, and what's the big deal? And today's Twitter file dumps, David Zweig, Z-W-E-I-G, blue check marks, is writing the Twitter files, how Twitter rigged the COVID debate. All right, anti-vaxxers.
Oh, man.
And COVID deniers, anybody that has come out in the last couple of years that has been hesitant to swallow hook, line, and sinker everything that was coming out of social media and the government. This might be some more smoking guns that you're looking for. How Twitter rigged the COVID debate, and they did it, number one, by censoring info that was true, but inconvenient to U.S. government policy. That's one way that they manipulated the stories, by discrediting doctors and others who disagreed with the U.S. government's policies on COVID-19, and by suppressing ordinary users, including some sharing data that came from the CDC. And it goes on and describes in some detail in this thread exactly what it was that Twitter was doing and at whose request. And it might shock some of you that some of the instructions come from both the Biden and Trump administrations. Directly pressed Twitter executives to moderate the platform's pandemic content according to their wishes. At the onset of the pandemic, according to meeting notes, the Trump administration was especially concerned about panic buying. They came looking for, quote, help from the tech companies to combat misinformation about runs on grocery stores. But as you will recall, there were actually runs in the grocery stores. There were people that were going out there and buying, it was toilet paper. What were some of the other big things that people were out looking for?
Rice.
Any kind of hand sanitizer, any kind of sanitation stuff, isopropyl alcohol and wet wipes, Clorox wipes, all of that kind of thing. There was, and it might still exist on Guam, a WhatsApp group of people that were keeping track on which stores, which box stores we've got here. What do they got at Payless? What do they got at Home Depot? What do they got over at Cost You Less that we're going to need in significant quantities in the house. Never mind food. We need toilet paper, because we don't. And that was when all the funny tabo jokes were coming out from all of the Filipino listeners. Don't need toilet paper. We've got a tabo, and you can turn anything that will hold the water into something like a tabo. At any rate, so you got all of this stuff floating around, and active work by the government of the United States of America to tell social media companies like Twitter about suppressing or flat out censoring the information. There was a guy, forget his name, there it is, Alex Berenson, who was talking about COVID misinformation, that kind of thing, and telling people that there was vaccine. It was pushing vaccine information about the vaccine. Biden administration said, no, he's killing people with all of this misinformation, which, as it turns out, eventually ended up being true, and we're reading more and more about that these days. Berenson was suspended hours after Biden's comments, and then kicked off Twitter the following month. That's how they did it. You got all kinds of doctors, MDs, that were afraid to come out and say something, and when they finally did, you couldn't find it on social media unless you were paying really, really good attention and knew what you were looking for. Anyway, so we're seeing all of this. In the meantime, mainstream coverage of any of these Twitter file dumps, zero. Nobody is talking about this. And is there any interest by Congress? Is there anybody in the government of the United States of America that is sitting on the right side of the First Amendment and asking how in the hell they did this and how to prevent it from happening again in the future. Anyway, scattered showers and thunderstorms are in today's forecast. There's partly sunny skies, highs near 86 degrees, winds out of the east-northeast, about 5 to 11 miles an hour. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen so you can see where Guam is in the mix of all of this incredible weather that we have been having these days. Did it not feel over the weekend like the wind was coming from the wrong side of the island? It kind of sort of was. As I was looking at windy and it was pushing winds from the west to the east. What have we got today? It looks like there's some weather patterns at odds in our area right now, and you get that shear line on top of us, and hopefully that will keep things kind of mellow around here. But they say it's going to bring some rain, maybe thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows about 76 degrees. With the heat index, it'll feel like 94 today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow. Looks like things clear up by Thursday. Ooh, you know what we need? You know what we're going to need to have? I'd like to can I make the request now? Do we have Landon? Is Landon going to check in at any time?
He's going to call soon. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put in my request now for weather for New Year's. I don't want any clouds. I don't want any thunderstorms, but I do want some wind. I want just enough wind to blow the smoke away from all of the fireworks that are going to be going up all over the place, including over in Agate. I'm sure they're going to have one of those fireworks shows down there. Just enough wind to blow the smoke out of the way, but not enough so that it would jeopardize the big drone show that's going to be happening down in Tumont. That's what I'm looking for. Note here, probably should have started with this. Rip currents, hazardous surf warnings are in effect. Virtually every exposure that we've got here on Guam. Stay near shore, would you? Sunrise this morning was at 6:42. Sunset tonight's going to be at 6:02. Hashtag tell the others. 7:16 of the Ray Gibson Show. We'll take a look at the markets next.
Take Care is moving from its current location at the Baltaj Pavilion to the Century Plaza in Tamuning and will be closed December 23rd through the 30th. If you need any assistance, please call customer service at 671-647-3526 or email customer service at takecareasia.com. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
News this hour is brought to you by the friendly and hardworking folks at Hafaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, Lolita, and their team of professionals. Contact Hafaday Realty for all your real estate needs. Call 671-989-0008 or email hafadayrealty@gmail.com. They are located at 426 Chelan San Antonio, Suite 204, Tamuning, and open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Hafaday Realty thanks you for your support in Pica's Best of 2022.
Okay, then, portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And the team over at Wendy's got a great breakfast there for you, special with the bacon and the sausage croissant that they've got there. Talked to a guy over the weekend and at a brunch. He's like, those are croissants, aren't they? I said, yeah, do you want one? He says, no, I just like saying them. I just like saying the word croissant. Get yours over at Wendy's. And a little bit later on, when it's hot, try the classic vanilla Frosty, now mixed with peppermint syrup, topped with crushed candy cane pieces and more. For a limited time, their Frosty, your Frosty, all dressed up for the holidays and bringing some cool peppermint flavor to your big party. Warm and cozy is overrated. When it's dessert time, choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new vanilla peppermint Frosty.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Scrolling on the Twitter thread here. David Zweig, he writes for an outfit called The Free Press. And he says there are three serious problems with Twitter's processes, and the second one will feel a little bit close to home. First, much of the content moderation was conducted by bots trained on machine learning and AI. Impressive in their engineering, but still too crude for such nuanced work. So you got these bots looking at all these entries and looking for words that were flagged or tagged. And if it comes up, then we're going to throw it in the pile of tweets that we will suppress. Contractors in places like the Philippines were also moderated content. They were given decision trees to aid in the process, but tasking non-experts to adjudicate tweets on complex topics like myocarditis and mask efficacy data was destined for a significant error rate. You remember when people were saying that the wearing a mask doesn't make any difference, and then all of a sudden you didn't see a whole lot of people that were visibly opposed to masks because those tweets, those stories just were eliminated completely. Third, most importantly, the buck stopped with higher level employees at Twitter who chose the inputs for the bots and decision trees and subjectively decided escalated cases. And subjectively decided escalated cases and suspensions. As it is with all people and institutions, there was individual and collective bias. This is going to be interesting to the degree that it pretty much verifies everything that we thought was going on at the time. But will there be any degree of hell to pay? Is anybody at some point going to be held accountable?
That's what we want, Ray. We want someone to pay.
I want a hanging judge here. I want a body on this or a Klitsky or something like that. We absolutely need to get a handle on what happened here. 7:20 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. 888-825-5888-TALK. Am I supposed to go into the finance thing now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I clicked on a thing. It didn't pop up yet, so it'll take a second to do that. While I'm waiting on that, I did tease you with this, and it is a story about chaos cooking. And what pray tell, is chaos cooking? Now, I can't give you the whole umbrella the conversation about it, but I'll give you an idea of what it is that people are smashing together. It's like mashups of different styles of cooking. Sashimi tostadas. Huh?
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting.
It does sound interesting,
Yeah.
actually. Well, that's the thing. Like I said, the way they've described it is part neo-fusion, part middle finger. So sashimi tostadas, tandoori spaghetti. Try the vanilla spaghetti. I think you like more. I think you like it more. You buy a suit? I sell you a suit. There's an arms race to create both new brash food style and video-friendly dishes so that you can film them and put them on TikTok. Cheese pulls, sauce drips, drink pours, tableside preparations are all key, according to the guys over at FSR Magazine. That's a food service periodical. People just don't want that static shot of a dish against a nice background. They want there to be some kind of action. So get ready. Maybe your favorite place is going to be serving up cheeseburger arancini. This actually sounds fun. A Big Mac pizza.
Hey.
Pastrami tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Masala cheesecakes, biscuit and gravy pierogies, and TGI Fridays has, I don't know if we're going to get it here, but TGI Fridays nationally is launching a tandoori chicken fajita. Can you imagine just the assault of flavors in your mouth, all the different spices going? Just an FYI, chaos cooking, it's a real thing, could actually be coming to a place near you. I do not have on hand right now, I don't know why, but the page is not loading. In fact, the entire browser isn't loading right now. Well, I'll bet you know what it is? I'll bet you sometime over the weekend, the guys over at Microsoft decided to do an update, and I'm probably late for it, and I'll deal with that later. But I'm clicking. You know how to check. You know how to check if there's an update, right?
Yeah.
So you go and you click on the little window picture at the bottom corner of your screen, and if it has on the power button, if it has this little orange dot on it, that means that somebody has decided that they need to do something about a virus or fix something. In order to get you to fix it, what is required is Yep, I'm almost positive that's happening because now it's telling me that I've got to reconnect with your machine. Joe, do me a favor, hit the button on that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. 7:23 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show.
Accept?
Did you?
No.
Oh,
there you go.
Maybe. Okay. At any rate, that's how I know. There's another way that I know that there's a problem. Where was I headed with this conversation? I'll give you an idea of some commodities, and we'll get back on the numbers a little bit later on where things ended up there Friday. West Texas crude trading at $79.56, and you might be going, "Yay, it's under 80." And the answer is no. It's actually up. It was lower the last time that we looked at it, and I want to say it's up by a couple of bucks. Tapis crude today trading at around $84.38. So that number is up as well. If you were going to Japan, the yen rate today is 132.94 yen to the greenback, and we'll take a look and see what the actual exchange rate for those of you that are in Japan that are thinking about going by a DoD facility and get an exchange. But 132.94 is the bank number. If you're headed to the Philippines, like I know many of you are, good news here is the yen, the Philippine peso, about where it was last week, talking about 55.16 pesos to the greenback in exchange. So that's sounded like a good time at Rojas.
Not bad.
And for the Korean won, which is still kind of a mysterious number to me because I don't actually have a whole lot of, I've got no use for it, right? I've never been to Korea, and so I don't know whether the number is aggressive or not, or whether it's going to hold back tourism or encourage tourism somewhere else. But for whatever the purposes are, the won at 1275.25 here this morning. Do I got a Bitcoin number, Real Joe?
16,844.
Gotcha. 16,844. About where it was on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not moving.
Yeah, 7:25 in the morning. And while I call up some numbers on another browser, so I can actually see where the markets ended up or down on their Friday, our Saturday, Real Joe is going to press the button on Jerry Roberts' Tuesday Extra Point, being brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
I picked up an article recently from a guy who was turning 40, and he decided to list key lessons he'd learned along the way. I like reading stuff like this to see if I've learned similar things, and more important, to see what the writer's life had taught him that I don't know. We'll dig into this next on the Extra Point.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Hafe, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
His name is Nick Loper, and he runs a website known as SideHustleNation.com, specializing in helping employed people to get involved in secondary means of making money. When Loper hit the big 4-0, he sat down and wrote about specific things he'd learned in life, and we'll highlight some of those in the next couple of days. The first one is something that should be printed on the diploma of every kid graduating from high school or college. The best opportunities aren't visible until you're already in motion. Momentum counts. If we're active, if we connect with and are visible to more people, we're going to naturally see more opportunity and be able to take advantage of ways to advance. A lot of kids and far too many adults just wait for good things to come their way. Perhaps they apply for work at 1 or 2 places and then wait for a call. Minimal effort brings minimal results. My mom told me early on that getting a job was a full-time job. You apply at 10 places a day, day after day. Do that for a week, and then choose between the job offers you get. Do the math. Loper said, you vote your priorities with your time. So many people say there's no time to read or there's no time to learn a new skill, yet there's always time for TV or social media or just hanging out. Our priorities will tell our story. Another thing Loper said that resonated with me is choosing what's next doesn't mean choosing what's forever. If you're working in one career field and decide you really want to try something else for a while, do so with the knowledge that you can always resume the former career if you decide it's a better fit. Here's something else my mom told me, and maybe somebody in your life told you the same thing. Loper referenced the value of mentorship. Whether you own a business or work for someone, a mentor can speed up your success. Loper said, you don't have to learn every lesson on your own. Take advantage of the journeys of others. I have to admit, it's a lesson I didn't learn as well as I should have. I love how he phrased the next point. If you don't take care of your body, where will you live? We often talk about diet, exercise, and especially sleep. How about making 2023 the year you and I stop fooling around and take responsibility for improving our overall health? Then he added, control the controllables. I've been preaching this one ever since. The world may seem out of control and getting crazier all the time. You can't control the world, but you can control your world. Be proactive. Be intentional. This is a good start. We'll have more tomorrow with lessons learned by the age of 40 by Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Got another good one in the can there, Jerry. Good job. 7:29 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Seconds away from our next look at big news and headlines. This one brought to you by the guys over at Burger King with that incredible and, oh my God, tasty Italian chicken sandwich. If you haven't tried one, please make a point to head to the drive-thru today. And if you've got kids, the Super American Circus Winterland Show is still on. Going to be going till the end of the holidays. Get your free tickets today at BK. The 7:30 news also being brought to you by Hoffaday Realty. Their number for information and ideas about great real estate scores that are still out there is 588-4232. That's 588-4232. You send them an email if it's too early to call at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. Now with news and headlines, here's Donna D. Donna, what happened?
Rico Wasisang was arrested for threatening to kill his family after demanding money from his father. The victim reported to the police that he felt his son would carry out his threat. Wasisang was on probation for 3 separate cases and on pretrial release for another one. He was ordered to stay confined at DOC on $5,000 cash bail. And reports of unknown suspicious messages to local phone numbers have continued to come in from local, domestic, and unusual or unexpected international area codes. Officials warn residents to be suspicious of any calls or messages asking for personal or financial information. Report scams to the Mariana Regional Fusion Center by calling 475-0400. And 12 officers have completed 3 grueling months of SWAT training, 11 from GPD and 1 from the Port Authority. The last time a cycle from GPD's SWAT training course graduated was in 2017. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio says the SWAT graduates will join a group of law enforcement officers who are the last line of defense when activated. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
3,700. 3,700 is the jackpot in the New Year's Eve weekend drawing for the Queen of Hearts over at the VFW post up in Gigo. For those of you that would like to come into a little money possibly on for the new year, that you might want to consider lurking around the VFW. There's great music, cheap beer, and some really, really awesome people. And how do I know? Because even Donna will go up to the VFW and take advantage of some of the great benefits.
I go there more than you know.
I believe you. I mean, you know what? I'm going to make that a resolution. I will make that a New Year's resolution that I'm going to get up. Now, Donnie's even told me the guys up at VFW have offered to drive. They've offered to drive. And, I try to be a responsible partier, right? So if I know I'm going all the way up to Gigo, I'm going to make it worth it and want to have more than 1 or 2 or 3 Bud or Mick Ultras or whatever they've got over at the bar. And I don't want to be irresponsible and get behind the wheel. Now, normally I'd take a designated driver up there or find a designated driver. But in this case, it would be cool if they just come and pick me up at the house, take me up there, and then when I'm just tired of being social. You ever get
you
that?
in after?
Yeah, take me back to the house.
Put you in bed.
Can we stop by a bunch of other? Can we stop by American Legion on the way down? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Who was I talking to? Was it last week? Right? We were talking with Cousin Troy, and he was making an order at the drive-thru. I'm like, ask for a 6-pack. Just ask for a 6-pack. You ever do that? You go to the drive-thru over at KFC and just say, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Just go at the 76 or the Shell up here and grab me a 6-pack from the beer cave." I'm sorry, sir, we cannot do that. Anyway, what was I? 7:33 in the morning, and that's the number. $3,700, almost $4,000. Now, conversations here that are going to be abounding over the course of the next few days because it's 2023 in less than a week. I don't mean to put you in any kind of panic mode, but it's 2023 in less than 7 days. So you need to prep for it. Now, I know people that don't do New Year's resolutions. And for the most part, it's because it might be for some people just an exercise in frustration. Where you're going, okay, I thought I was going to exercise more. I was going to lose weight. I was going to be nicer to the family. What's her name? That lady, Mary, whatever. But it just, sometimes you just kind of crash and burn. And so what the experts now are saying is be more creative. Be more creative. Resolve something different. Okay, so I just said I'll make that a New Year's resolution. I'll put it on the list of things I'd like to improve more. Is hanging out with Point Familia up at the VFW in Gigo. I think that would be an all right thing, and something I might actually be able to do if it works out that way. And I'll give you another way to do resolutions as well. Feels like you start the new year ready to reinvent your life, only to find that a month later you've given up on everything and are living a life that's totally indistinguishable from last year's. Maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe you're just bored of making and breaking the same resolutions over and over again. So why not break the rut this year? Try a new resolution, something creative and interesting. And the creative and interesting ideas they've come up with is choose one person that you disagree with and take them out to lunch. You know, they say that a sign of intelligence is being able to have two conflicting thoughts in your head at the same time and not go crazy, not go absolutely bonkers. So if you're listening to this show, I'm going to assume that you are a little bit right of center, and so find somebody that's a little bit left of center, maybe all the way left of center, and treat them out to a lunch. And just the same rule applies as the Ray Gibson rule for Tinder dates. Is make sure that you've got a safe word that you can beep to somebody on your WhatsApp so they can come and rescue you and you know, help you just beat up on this lefty snowflake. Number 2, schedule weekly time to be bored. Okay, I already do that. I didn't know that was a resolution, but yeah, I'm kind of already in there. Do one thing that scares you, knowing that you'll either get it wrong or get rejected. You know, I'm fond of saying that courage is always rewarded, and that is something that has worked in my life for absolutely years. You need to be aware of the idea that there needs to be a step to take, and you might as well do the one that scares the hell out of you. And then there's one, talk to a stranger every day. And you might wonder where you might find some strangers. And it seems to me that there's a whole bunch of them waiting to meet you, like around Skinner Plaza and the post office in Agania. You might want to just kind of mosey by there. You won't have to look very far. They're camped right there on the stairs, just kind of waiting for you. Get that feeling like there's a gauntlet, right? So you kind of look over and go, okay, there's 3 sets of stairs over at the Agania post office. There's one that takes you into the area where you pick up your parcels. Yeah. And then you've got the other one that is across from the Plaza de España, and then you've got the far one where it kind of leads you to the loading dock at and so you just kind of got to look around and go, okay, where's that weird guy today? How is he going to be able to find? And on those rare days where there's nobody at any of the stairs, you know what that means? He's inside waiting for you.
It's going to pop out of the corner.
Hey, do you have any money? Just a little bit of $1 or $2.
Give him your junk mail.
Here's an envelope full of cash. 7:37 on the Ray Gibson Show. Coming up, we'll find out what's going on the roads. We were looking at some problems up at Anderson Air Force Base a little bit earlier. Colin says it has everything to do with the idea that the back gate, for whatever reason, is closed. But it looks like they've got it sorted out. I'll give you the rest of the details in a sec.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
It's a holiday sale at American Water Tech in Tamuni. Get the Aquaflow or Hydrotech reverse osmosis drinking water system installed for $785. And that includes 1 free service, a $260 value, and 1-year limited warranty. There's also the Connecticut Home Water Softener System for $2,975. That includes 2 free services, valued at $380, and a 1-year limited warranty. Call American Water Tech at 671-649-2301 or go to their website for more information at www.americanwatertech.com. Sale ends December 30th, 2022.
Wait, hold on, Real Joe. I've got a PSA I've got to do. Public service announcement here. So you remember that girl, Sella, that I was talking to last week from over at the GCC culinary program?
I do, yeah.
All right. So among her other gigs is she is kind of the human mommy for a bunch of newborn pups.
I thought that was fried chicken, man. What the? I better get glasses.
Wait, hold on.
I thought it was fried chicken.
No, you're right. It does look like fried chicken, right?
What type of puppies are those that look like fried chicken?
They're brown.
Brown
Yeah, they're brown dogs. I got the same question. I got a friend of mine that beat me and said, "Oh, gorgeous dogs. What kind are they?" I said, "They're brown. They're brown dogs. They're toy poodles is the thing."
Say that 10 times fast.
No,
Okay, all
I
right.
can't. It'll come out like a curse word. Anyway, so beautiful home. They're sellers pups. The boy is already spoken for, but there are 3 girl pups.
Oh, they're so cute.
Now, the last time she sold off some puppies was they sold for $2,000 a piece.
The one on the right is really cute.
I know it. The one on the left looks kind of naughty. Like, I'm going to eat your shoes and eat your remote control for the TV, all of the important things. But as far as I know, I got this on Christmas Day and posted it up on my story on Facebook, and I did not get any responses on it. But if you're looking and maybe you're thinking this is the year to add to your family, then by all means, go ahead and DM me on Facebook, just whatever, Ray Gibson, and I will put you in touch with her. And if the pups are still available, the 3 girl pups are still available, then we'll arrange some kind of a meet and take, if you will. But concentrate on the name. There's information. And isn't it amazing I can go from one topic to another and not have to worry about a successful transition? Think about the name. Babies from the Golden Age and Generation Alpha have something in common. They were namesakes for a lot of dogs in 2022. It turns out that if adoptable dogs have people names, those names tend to be either very old-fashioned or very modern, according to the Washington Post. Many current favorites for dogs, like Daisy and Charlie, were in the top 50 baby names around 1880, they say, going back a number of years. There's an interesting statistic. Derek is a human name. And somebody did the stats on this, and they said in a stadium of 100,000 people and 100,000 dogs, there would be 65 people would be named Derek. There are seven dogs would be named Derek as well.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Don't ask me how they put this kind of thing together, but it works. The 3 most common people names for adoptable dogs are Bella, Max, and Luna. Okay, now which one of these dogs, let me just do it for the exercise here. Which one of these dogs would be the Bella? Which one would be the Luna? And is it okay in 2023 to name a girl dog Max?
Yes.
As in maximum pain in the butt here. Again, $1,500 if you're seriously interested, because otherwise don't waste my time with this. I hate setting up meet and takes and that kind of thing. Get a hold of me, and I will put you in touch with somebody that can help. 741 on the Ray Gibson Show. We were supposed to do traffic, right? Let's finish that job, shall we? Don't see a whole lot happening at Anderson Air Force Base. Either they've opened the back gate or everybody's gone to work. Otherwise, southbound Marine Corps Drive all the way to Dededo is looking fairly clear, just to intersection traffic, and not a whole lot of it. No school working this morning, and not possible that everybody's taken that 4th day off. Don't see a whole lot on Route 16 into the 8, 10, and 16 area. 10 and 15 running a little bit busy, all 4 directions of that intersection, and 4 and 10 running a little bit heavier than normal this morning. Southbound what do we call that? Westbound into Agana on that road. Looks like there's a little bit of traffic around the Sinahanya and Ganya Heights area, so expect some delays as you're moving through there. Maybe a lot of people hitting the drive-thrus. And then just a little bit of traffic over at Big Navy in Sumai. In fact, it looks like it's some of the easiest going traffic on Guam. 742 in the Ray Gibson Show. I'll tell you what, you've been good. I'll be right back.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu, or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
What I thought. In one of the newspapers, there is a notice for a meeting of the parole board. And I took a picture of it and sent it to His Honor Bob Klitsky because it occurred to me that it is vague. Here's their agenda. Call to order, roll call, old business, parole desirability cases, and then new business, parole desirability and preliminary revocation cases, deliberation, and then they adjourn. And I just think for something like parole, where these guys are getting together and talking about the potential of taking somebody that has otherwise been incarcerated and kept away from polite society, that we would like to be able to say, hey, this guy is up for parole. Maybe you're going to want to come and swing by and see on what's going on in the actual parole hearing that the guy is going to be getting. So I sent this off to Bob Klitsky. His response is, got a vague memory of prior AG opining. Put this question on my to-do list. And I said, it just feels vague. He says, it is. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you would think that would be the idea. How much confidentiality are these guys, will they have the privilege of when we start talking about them going back out into clean society? 888-8255, 888-TALK. Is that the weather guy?
Yeah, he's the one that made it cold.
That's it. Which one, Landon or Brandon? Do we know?
The evil one, Landon.
Doesn't matter. All right, Landon's on line. Landon Idlet's on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Merry post-Christmas. How are you?
Yeah, I survived the weekend.
Yes.
And I tell you what, given some of the crazy weather planet-wide, that's actually saying something. Got word from my agent in Japan. Heavy snow in Japan has killed 17, injured more than 90, and left hundreds of homes without power. Disaster management officials are saying this morning 6 degrees in Yokosuka. And if you're traveling to Japan, bring your winter clothes. If not, your doggone will freeze. And just FYI, you get $129 yen to the greenback in Japan. So it looks like the yen might be getting a little bit stronger if you've got the fortitude to be able to travel out there. Another story out of Buffalo, they're referring to it as a once-in-a-lifetime blizzard, stranded nearly every fire truck in Buffalo, 27 people dead, frozen to death. Literally, the storm is blamed for at least 48 deaths nationwide. Rescue and recovery efforts hampered, obviously, by the weather conditions, but they managed to continue. So, we were talking about this just last week, and talking about a kind of winter-geddon that is taking place right now. And as a weather guy, it must be absolutely fascinating for you to watch.
Well, it's definitely fascinating, and I'm seeing the reports from my colleagues across the Weather Service in the States, and I was talking to a friend in Jackson, Kentucky. Her heating broke in her house, and it also broke in their forecast office in Jackson, Kentucky. So they have some major problems, and many forecasters across the central and eastern United States were camping out in their offices for the holiday weekend because of all this significant severe winter weather. Buffalo, I think forecasters were stuck in their office for 3 or 4 days before they could get extra bodies into the facility and rotate people out. So everybody's feeling the pain, and we were looking at some rough weather last week and over the weekend, and it actually turned out very nice for Guam. Not so much for the CNMI, but that shear line that was sitting to our north late last week, that took a sweet time to get down here, and that's associated with that powerful winter weather that they saw in Japan. And so many people are feeling it, especially the northern latitudes, well north of our region. But that shear line, that is starting to punch its way southward, and it's sitting literally right on top of Rota this morning. We did issue a flash flood advisory for the island of Rota with the heavy showers over there. And you're looking at the satellite and the radar, it shows that the line of heavy showers extending from the Rota Channel over Rota and just north of Rota to near or south of Tinian. And that's gradually dropping ever so slowly southward. And so eventually it's going to reach to Guam. If you look anywhere north of us, you see the menacing darker clouds. Will it hold together and pass over us and bring us heavy rain? That is what we're watching for closely, because sometimes these things can start to subside, they dissipate, stratify out, and stabilize, and then recycle later, about a 12-hour period later, and then can regenerate heavy showers. So we're going to be watching that closely, but it's right on our doorstep. So keep that in mind if you're going to be out and about. The other big story that we've been pushing for well over a week now are the hazardous seas and surf. And if you're anywhere near the water, you saw the waves starting to
almost all of November and all of December so far, we've been under a warning.
Exactly. Yeah, so we've been watching those advisories, and unfortunately, we had a very sad day yesterday for Guam. We've had, I think, 2 casualties and a number of water rescues. And that's so unfortunate, especially the day right after Christmas with those strong currents. And so we're going to be seeing those hazardous conditions continue at least several more days.
Any records breaking? Do we have a new absolute zero cold temp across the United States somewhere?
I've not heard of any records broken, but I'm sure some places have had some. And I know a lot of news was covering the coldest winter weather or the coldest day for Christmas in decades for many locations. The other big thing was temperature drops of upwards of 30 to 40 degrees in a matter of hours. So those are remarkable temperature falls for many locations. And I remember going to school back home, and my favorite days was where it starts out in the 60s in the morning, and by the afternoon it's below freezing, and any rain starts switching over to the frozen variety. And as a young budding meteorologist, I was always fascinated by that, to see how things can change so rapidly. And we don't see those temperature changes here, but we can see weather conditions change.
Oh, I don't know. It was so cold yesterday. I had to turn the air conditioner off.
Well, that's always a good thing here in Guam. Open up the windows, let the breeze pass through. And actually, that brings up an interesting point. We did have some showers across the island. And I think we had a gauge in Santa Rita. They clocked in just under 2 inches of rainfall yesterday. Not everybody saw that heavy rain, but some locations did see some heavy rainfall for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'd gotten the word from the Joint Information, and said that we were looking at some flash flood opportunities and some heavier rains falling. And I looked out the window, and it was sunny skies out in the MTM region. It started to get a little bit snotty later on in the day, but I didn't think that that I was going to see any of that, and I sure did. And that was mostly kind of a South Guam phenomenon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was actually due to the very light wind. So just south of that shear line that's been up on our northern edge, we had much lighter, calmer winds across the island yesterday, and that enabled the island effect convection. So it's kind of out of season for that weather pattern, but here we are. We had that yesterday. We had those island effect showers and thunderstorms over Agate, Santa Rita, PD, and then upwards near Tumon and NCF, Dedido area. And so not everybody saw it, but the locations that did so, they got some heavy rainfall for a brief period of time. And so that was exciting to watch develop.
7:51, I'm on with Landon Idlet from the National Weather Service. And I'd like to make a request for this weekend, which is New Year's weekend. Saturday night, about 11 o'clock to 11:30, they're going to get everything going for all of the different fireworks and drones. Fireworks and drones, or in some areas, just the fireworks, because, only got the one set of drones. So those will be in Tumon. So I want to make my request that we've got enough breezes up around, 500,000 feet that will move the smoke away from the fireworks. That's one, but not so breezy that it makes it difficult to fly the drones. You think you might be able to accomplish that? You've got a few days to work on it.
Well, we're hopeful for that. Right now, the big feature is the shear line, and that's going to eventually dissipate probably by late week, and then we'll have a period of calmer weather. But it's those winds that we're going to be most concerned about. So we looks like the shower's going to be tapering off by the weekend, but the winds could still be hanging around. That'll be good news for getting the smoke out of the air. But those drones, that's what we're going to be concerned about. We're going to be talking to the drone operators in advance of their show.
Well, I'm going to be talking about the drone operators in about 20 minutes. So we'll find out about what Plan A looks like, and then what Plan B might resemble. 7:53 in the morning. Yeah. Lennon, it's always just a crazy pleasure talking with you. Hope we have an opportunity. In the meantime, happy belated Christmas and advanced New Year's to you, your brother, and the wife, and the kids, and all of that.
Absolutely. Thank you much, Ray, and talk to you soon.
You know you will. 888-825-888-TALK. There it is. There's the deal on the weather that we have had and what we've got right about now, and how that's gonna persist. And fingers crossed that everything works out the way I want it to work out in the next couple of days. 7:53 on the Ray Gibson Show. As I said, we'll see if we can get some time with Charlie Hermosa. He is the lead guy for the drone show that's going to be taking place down in the Tumon area. A couple of questions for him. How the hell do you intend to stay awake until 11 o'clock for this thing? I don't know how you're doing it. People asking to say, what are your plans for New Year's? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Where are you going to ring in the New Year's at? And there's a very good possibility it might be head on a pillow over at Crown Resorts down in Tumon. Looks like they might have an opening for a talk radio guy. I'll let you know in advance, and from there, that backyard should be absolutely fantastic, or the balcony, or maybe I just move the bed so it can see out the window at the fireworks, and maybe a little bit of hair of the drone show that they're going to be having. But I don't know. 11 o'clock just seems so late. You know, I had a thing on Friday night. A buddy of mine got together with a bunch of friends. We had a fondue. A fondue party. Oh, yeah. You know what the star is? Speaking of the Crown, right? Remember Chef Gennaro?
I do.
Brought in a couple of those big things of bread.
Yeah, the sourdough
bread.
Crust bread.
One of them made lunch over at my house on Friday. I took the other one there and cut it into little fondue size bits, and that was also a big hit over at the fondue party. But so I'm at the fondue party. I think we got together. I don't know. Started the thing about 7 o'clock, and by 9:15, I was looking at my watch, going, "Okay, I think it's time to go. It's time to get on. Let's go, vamos." Are we going someplace else? Is there another party to go to? I said, no. The pillow is calling me. The bed is calling me here. I think this has been exactly the right length day. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Drive carefully, and good night is how all of that ended up. And that's how I got a start into my weekend. But you know, absolutely fantastic events over the weekend. We had the party on Friday, and then Saturday over at Pirates Cove. And somebody, I don't know who said that I've got. Hold on, it was on the YouTube side. Hold on. Says that's a cool pick at Jeff's Cove. Ray's got the Clint Eastwood look there, right? And I can get the picture back up on the screen so that you can see what it is that I'm talking about. But yeah, so the time prior, I went through Pirates Cove. That was when I was there to meet up with Don Farrell, and I got myself this cool Jeff's Pirates Cove hat, and I thought, well, how appropriate would that be? So I put that together, got the puka shell thing, and the silver and Blackbeard member, and then the shirt open to the belly button. Are you catching that part?
I'm catching it, man. You got that Ernest Hemingway look going.
Yeah, and it's just amazing that the family put up with me, you know, that for the entire time that we were down there. Closing in on 8 o'clock in the morning, and what are we going to be talking about in the next portion of the program? I still haven't yet read to you the latest and greatest of the Casey Rayfand hits. Again, this guy has been on the magistrate reports going back to at least 2015, maybe a little bit long. You know what he was busted for in 2015? And you would think that it would be enough for him to stay in jail for a long time. In 2015, the guy was somebody called and said, "This guy's being a jerk, and we'd like him to be removed from the premises." And a cop came over and removed him from the premises. And right around the time that he was getting ready to put the guy in handcuffs and stick him in the back of the squad car, there was an attempted assault on this police officer.
Oh.
Now, it might have been, I think the story also includes him showing up at the hospital with the cop and then getting frisky with the police officer again. And there was a unique way to, quote, take them to ground. And apparently the police officer was sufficiently knowledgeable in some kind of jujitsu thing where he kind of grabbed the guy in the back of the head by the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then bang, you're on the ground, son. And so you would think that, a case of an assault against a police officer would nab you some mandatory time in the police department. It didn't. There are magistrate reports that go from 2006 to 15, 16, 17, right up until last week when this guy was making a nuisance of himself. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? He was making a nuisance of himself, and maybe you were there over the weekend at Skinner Plaza. Right?
No.
Which is like the Christmas Mecca on Guam right now.
He was there?
Everybody, he was there with Santa Claus. And the Virgin Mother. I don't know, and he was giving everybody a hard time and asking to fight and everything. So I might share that with you a little bit later on. And now one other question that I'm sure everybody is dying to know is what the governor is going to be doing about a number of bills. If you see today's front page of the Daily Post, I think it'll tell you the stories about different bills that are awaiting the governor's action. I'm wondering what's going to happen with Bill 360. That is the one that is protecting the health of the people and the land and in Afamalik from the toxic exposure due to open burning and open detonation of hazardous waste. Now, I can only imagine that the nurse that is the governor of Guam, is going to take a look at this and probably let this become a law, maybe sign it into law. It's like unanimous approval over at the legislature. You know why? Because it had all the right scary words in it. And exactly the right use of not correct use of it, but you know, a number of times where they've sprinkled the Chamorro phrase "enough at Malik" in there. And you know, I mean, if it's got enough of Malik in the legislation, it's got to be good, right? Doesn't require, we don't even need to read the thing. It says enough of Malik. So we'll go ahead. Apparently, it's not necessarily enough of Malik with the military. And I don't know, maybe they've got some feelings about that. That conversation and a bunch of other stuff coming up in the next couple of hours of The Ray Gibson Show. In the meantime, stand by. Fox News Live is coming up here in a second. Lots and lots of interesting things going on across the country, around the nation, and the world, that they will bring up weather and the omnibus spending bill, and maybe a little bit about Putin trying to make nice with Ukraine, because it's getting to be pretty clear they're not winning a war out there one way or the other. Here it comes, Fox News on the Point.
They're still searching for people in western New York. I'm Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News. New York Governor Kathy Hochul confirmed 27 people have been killed in the winter storm conditions, most of them in Erie County and the Buffalo area. The National Guard was called in to help look for people.
We had over 550 rescues, transporting people all over, people from out of town who had no idea what they were in for. It's extraordinary.
Some were found dead in their cars, in roadside snowbanks. Others died while trying to clear snow from their properties. While most of the storms moved on, it's still contributing to ongoing travel delays.
It's warmed up considerably, but it's still pretty cold in Chicago. The worst of the weather has been out of Chicago now for a couple of days, but you still have a lot of problems at the airports. And the way the spokesman for one of the major airlines told me, you get a lot of planes that get stuck at one airport. They're supposed to be at another. The schedule gets out of sync, and it takes a while when you have a major disruption like this to get all the moving parts back where they belong. So despite blue skies yesterday, calm skies today, you still have 100 flight cancellations at Midway Airport, and the numbers on the way up. 46 flight cancellations out of O'Hare.
Fox's Mike Tobin at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. And over the weekend, Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, said they're ready to negotiate with Ukraine, but that Ukraine's leaders don't want to and have refused. Ukrainian leaders say that's false. And now Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, told the Associated Press they want a peace summit at the UN by February.
The idea of the peace formula is twofold. On the one hand, not to allow Russia to manipulate the issue of peace, because they regularly say that they are ready for negotiations, which is not true, because everything they do on the battlefield proves the opposite.
America is listening to Fox News.
All three stations, all three morning shows. Thanks to all the listeners for Pika's Best. Choice Broadcasting has swept the top three best radio stations. The Point, Boss 104, and Star 101. Top three radio personalities, Kyle Mandapat, Ray Gibson, and Daryl Lizama. Put the power of Pika's Best to work for you. If you're an advertiser, call 671-888-7346 for information, rates, and packages. And let us get your message out to Pika's Best listeners with Pika's Best broadcasters. And thanks for listening to Pika's Best.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches.
Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Will a popular social media app be banned in the U.S.? Former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien told Fox News it should be.
More than just the tracking and the personal data and the geolocating of our American citizens, they're using the algorithms to drive divisions in this country.
The Treasury Department's reviewing the TikTok app, whose parent company is based in China. But Republicans, who will soon be in control of the House in the coming year, may consider the issue as well.
I think the real discussion will be in the next Congress on whether we ban this platform overall in the United States. There are 100 million American users of TikTok.
New York Republican Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis notes it's already banned by our military on service members' devices. The vice president of the National Border Patrol Council says everyone is bracing for the end of Title 42 as migrants arrive in record-breaking numbers. More are expected if the pandemic-related health policy used to expel migrants ends. Fox's Jeff Paul has more.
With Title 42 set to expire last week, many had made the journey to the southern border hoping for a better chance to get in. But with the Supreme Court announcing a hold until it hears the case, it's leaving thousands in the cold, not knowing what to do next. Now, even with the frigid weather this weekend, the flow of people to the border isn't slowing down. From Friday to Sunday, CBP sources tell Fox News there were 16,476 encounters over the span of those 3 days. Roughly 2,100 were expelled under Title 42, but the remaining 14,000 were released.
The president will soon sign the massive $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill. South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace told Fox News Live she, like many other Republicans, thinks the price tag is way too high.
In the House side of things on this omnibus bill, what's happening wasn't bipartisan in any way, shape, or form.
18 Republican senators signed on to the bill. I'm Jessica Rosenthal, and this is Fox News.
Happy holidays, Guam! From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GVB will announce a theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instagram to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate the season of giving.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. Governor Lulian Guerrero has until tomorrow to decide on the Guam Heartbeat Act, the controversial measure that would ban abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected or within about 6 weeks of conception, when most women may not know they are pregnant. The governor is expected to veto the Heartbeat Act, while lawmakers will return from recess on Thursday to address the governor's actions on the act or any other bill passed in the December session. But even if the measure never makes it to law, AG-elect Doug Moylan says he plans to dissolve the injunction placed on Guam's 1990s abortion ban, which was never repealed by lawmakers. That, too, is expected to be met with legal challenges from reproductive rights advocates. Meanwhile, a second notice of violation has been sent to Samsung E&C America for uprooting trees and coral stones, piling dirt as high as 3 feet, and destroying hundreds of meters of the Marbo site, potentially impacting ancient burial grounds. This comes more than a year after the company went through a public and legal battle over the environmental damage the project caused. Guam State Historic Preservation Officer Patrick Lujan signed off on the latest notice, saying there was more destruction to cultural property and resources that could cost Samsung up to $200,000. A stop work order was issued on the company's mitigation plan until they can work out the existing issues. Lujan says the AG's office is involved in the process and adds that what happens next depends on how Samsung responds. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The lack of a wall continues to stall the island's ability to quickly identify variants of COVID-19. Public Health has yet to fire up its genome sequencing, which cost about $25,000. Territorial epidemiologist Ann Probutsky says the procurement process was to blame, adding she was clueless on when the process would be complete and therefore couldn't provide a timeline for when the genome sequencing machine would be up and running. Interim Chief Medical Officer Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero says most of the supplies for the machines are available. It's just a matter of the genome sequencing needing to be placed in a room. It needs to be contained in a certain area, and that's where the holdup is, the procurement for building a wall to enclose the machine. And a new type of remotely operated underwater vehicle has made its way to the island. Unlike a typical drone in the air, Dueñas Camacho and Associates is using an underwater device in its fieldwork, such as hydrographic surveying. The underwater drones will be used for underwater surveying and go to depths of 1,000 feet. Drone pilot Hugo Sanchez says the use of these drones can let companies know the effects of underwater projects on the environment, and adds that drones are more efficient than divers, who can be limited to 15 minutes at a time underwater, while drones have an unlimited amount of time with the help of a generator that runs power to them. The company only has one underwater drone but is looking to expand. Marine biologist Michael Wilder says having drones here is more cost-effective than acquiring a firm that brings the devices to Guam. And those are your top stories. Now back to Ray with the weather.
Come on, I got more important things to do than the weather.
What are you looking at?
Trying to calculate exactly how much time that we've got between now and Doug Moylan's inauguration. So I kind of want to kind of like do a countdown.
Yeah.
This is 106. According to this, from today, right now, until Monday, is the 2nd of January, there are 167 hours. And I think that's Monday, 2nd of January, like at midnight. So you'd have to add another 8 to that. So what is it? 175 hours, something like that, Joe?
And then the purge begins.
And then the purge begins. And then just stand by for all hell to break loose here. Yeah. So I get this. So a mere 175 or so hours between now and the arrival and the inauguration of Attorney General Douglas Moylan. And so thugs beware is all I'm going to say now. And for those of you that got sticky fingers in the government one way or the other, or misusing or misspending government resources, Eric the Eagle is going to be watching you from high atop the perch of the Attorney General's office. He's a top floor ITC, right? Yeah, I don't know either. Anyway, studio time, 8:11 in the morning. All right, here's the last look at weather that we're going to give you for now, because we spent a long time with Landon Idlet last hour. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast. Expect partly sunny skies. Daytime highs today about 86 degrees. With a heat index, it'll feel like 94. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for this evening as well. All he was waiting for, and if you heard Landon, and maybe you saw a little bit of what we were looking at. Hold on, not that one, this one. Put that up on the screen. You can see the weather radar image that we've got for you now. We've got all that cloudy, snotty weather that is just kind of lingering to the north of it. It's all over Rhoda, in between Rhoda and Tinian Islands up in the CNMI. So, wow, they're getting a whole lot of that snotty weather. But, it's like that's the needle. That's where we thread the needle in between the Mariana Islands. And it could go further north and harass the folks up in the NMI or come down to Guam. We'll see how that plays out in the next couple of days. Otherwise, they're predicting scattered showers and thunderstorms just in case. Partly sunny otherwise tomorrow with highs near 85 degrees. By Thursday, should be out of this shear and back to just plain old partly sunny skies and daytime highs near about 88 degrees. Stay out of the water. A lot of winds and a lot of winds that are on the ocean that are just beating those waves into submission and pushing them on shore. But absolutely among the most dangerous times of the year to be on the water. Rip currents, hazardous surf warnings. Seems like we've been talking about this for the last 2 months because we have. Be careful out there. Sunset tonight at 6:02. There it is. News and weather together on The Point.
It's a holiday sale at American Water Tech in Tamuni. Get the Aquaflow or Hydrotech reverse osmosis drinking water system installed for $785. And that includes one free service, a $260 value, and 1 year limited warranty. There's also the Connecticut home water softener system for $2,975. That includes 2 free services valued at $380 and a 1 year limited warranty. Call American Water Tech at 671-649-2301 or go to their website for more information at www.americanwatertech.com. Sale ends December 30th, 2022.
OKFC, original and crispy. Happy holidays, folks.
Colonel Sanders here. KFC is here to help feed your holiday hunger with our 6 or 12-piece family meal. They both come with your choice of our delicious KFC sides, biscuits, and a personal gift from the Colonel. 2 free glass food containers. Have a safe and happy holiday season from KFC Guam. It's finger-licking good.
Oh, holiday. I got 3 of those little Tupperware bowls that they've not Tupperware, the glass bowls.
Yeah.
I got 3. I'm shooting for, because I was thinking now that we're in between Christmas and New Year's, maybe I'm gonna just get myself one of the big things with lots of chicken and lots of sides in it, and get the bigger one. I've got 3 small ones, but I need the bigger one. You can buy it separately if you want to, but where's the fun in that, right? So we'll go and eat a whole bunch of KFC chickens and enjoy that. Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, global presence with a local home, and GRMC Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
Kind of a disappointing portion of my day here today. Really annoyed about something. And basically that something is there are a number of studies that take place over the course of the year. And unfortunately, in many of these cases, Guam's not a part of it. I'm really annoyed because there's a story and a study that was conducted nationwide, excluding apparently the territories. And they were looking for, the response in this story was the worst roads in the United States of America. Worst roads in the USA. And so they looked everywhere, and I've seen a map. I've seen a map of the United States. And the worst roads in the USA are apparently, are you ready for it?
Santa Rita?
Hawaii.
Oh.
Hawaii has their next best thing. Bad roads can be a headache, especially when it comes to time-sensitive holiday travel, and they can lead to expensive car repairs and more frequent collisions. To determine which states have the worst roads, they analyzed data from the U.S. Federal Highway Administration, other government agencies, and surveyed residents throughout the nation to get drivers' perspectives on their state roads. Key insights from this study: Hawaii has the worst roads. Rhode Island, Louisiana, New Hampshire have Rhode Island and Louisiana are second and third for worst roads in the country. New Hampshire has the best roads, and then there's Minnesota and Vermont. About 46% of survey respondents who rated their roads 1 out of 10 who are from California. Anyway, Hawaii received a D+ on the most recent infrastructure report card. More than a quarter of Hawaii's urban roads come in at more than 170 inches per mile on the International Roughness Index, a measure of how much a vehicle vibrates based on the roughness of the road and how the wheel hits it. Where would you say among the roughest roads are here on Guam? I mean, Waisang Song was looking really, really bad. I think they've gotten that taken care of. But I couldn't tell you. Anyway, there's more on that. And then there's a couple of other interesting things here. And I'm wondering, whether this is going to work for the new Attorney General, whether or not he's going to be in it. Apparently, Guam is. I've not heard this yet from the Attorney General's office, so I might be beating them to the punch on a press release. A bipartisan coalition of 37 attorneys generals are requesting the U.S. Department of Transportation improve protections for airline customers. It stated appreciation for the department's efforts to address the problems of flight cancellations and significant delays. The 8-page letter emphasized proposed regulations that must be strengthened. And I'll get through the suggestions, et cetera, in a minute. States and territories signing on to the letter: Alaska, Arizona, California, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., Guam, it says, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois. So there's another one of these attorney generals' lawsuits, or at least AG's urging of the Department of Transportation to do something. Can you imagine to what degree there were any charges that were getting filed and put in place as a result of all of the thousands and thousands of cancellations that have taken place over the course of the December from about the 22nd today, to like right now, with the weather conditions. You know, I belong to a group, and they do an airport check-in. And the idea is maybe you're at the same airport and you want to hang out with somebody in the group, then you just kind of, it just shows up on social media. And there's a high rotation of it right now because lots and lots of people are traveling, and they'll go, hey, I'm at the United Lounge at whatever airport, and I'll be here for like 3 hours. Well, I'm sure that many of those turned into 3 hours or 4 hours or 8 hours with all of the delays and the cancellations that have been going on. 8:19 in the morning. Is that Charlie Hermoso?
That's Charlie Hermoso from Bella Wings.
That's our transportation
That's our guy.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
You know,
Happy holidays to everybody there, Ray.
As a Marine, how did you celebrate Christmas and the birth of our Lord?
You know, very nice and quiet with the family, and just kind of received it. It was very peaceful, so very gratifying.
Because I remember that movie Full Metal Jacket, where you got where you got the command sergeant major, whatever he is, walking around there and saying "Happy Birthday, Jesus." Did you have that when you were in boot camp?
Not in boot camp, but actually, ironically, that's funny. That's a very funny story I had, but not funny. But in Afghanistan, we actually, some of the EOD guys, they both on Christmas and New Year's Eve, they set off explosives. We had plenty of that event. So,
learn something new about EOD guys, Real Joe. Hot guys, hot wives, and hot nights. What do we got? We got some spares. We'll set them off. Let's see if we can scare the hell out of the enemy tonight.
Their humor's a little off sometimes, you know.
My favorites, my absolute favorites. Hey, a couple of questions. Now, there's a story in the newspaper. We've got fireworks shows at a variety of places in town for New Year's, but it's going to be drone night again down at the Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Can you do? I don't feel like staying up that late. Can you do two shows? One like just around sunset for me, and the ones that just want to go be in the pillow about 9 o'clock, and then you can do another one at 11:30.
We were actually looking at that just because we couldn't be at two places at the same time. So we were looking at the logistics of being able to set up, break down, and then run over, like do an earlier show. But I think that's something in the works for the future.
Yeah.
I think honestly, the vision that GVB has is very grand, and we want to play along with it. And I think these shows are going to get bigger and bigger, and we're potentially going to have multiple shows on multiple sites,
or just one show with a hell of a lot of drones. I don't know, that's got to go into the decision tree, right? We might be able to split up the groups and do a couple of different locations, or we can just have one location, keep it to one. I mean, there was once upon a time there was fireworks were at Epau Beach, period. And then every once in a while the guys on the other side of the island over by where the Riga is and onward would be like, hey, what about us, you guys? We're tourists too, and so they kind of branched it over in that direction. But it just seems to me that with the limited drone resources, you'd be forced with that choice of either splitting up the shows or one big, huge show with plenty drones.
That is correct. That's definitely the vision. And then we're definitely going to get there, and we're actually having some good, serious discussions on making, putting the pieces together to ensure that we're able to go and get the drones and, dealing with supply chains and transportation and all that great stuff, right?
Oh, my God. Well, that was the rest of the conversation. You just using this as a clever excuse to talk to you about where the supply chain breakdowns are going to be. It's wintertime across the country, and if they can't get fire trucks to move through the snowbanks in Buffalo to go rescue people before they freeze to death, I'm pretty sure that there are not a whole lot of truck drivers that are able to move materials and merchandise from warehouses to retail locations, parts and inventory from the manufacturer to whoever is assembling products. That's going to slow things down come the first quarter.
No, absolutely. And the winter's always played a critical role, especially like in the Midwest, if we're looking at the U.S. mainland. But adding to the congestion, not being able to fluidly go in and out of some terminal, rail terminals, truck terminals, the truck capacity, it kind of adds everything fuel to the fire, but to an already existing situation that we have during the wintertime. So I think you're right. It will have a little of issues throughout the supply chain, And I think folks are going to see it a little bit more this year, more than ever, honestly.
And then there are any number of other factors. I don't know that this is going to be shipping-geddon like we had a couple of years ago, and some of that that was frustrated with a massive ship that got stuck in the canal. That was part of our conversation last year. But I mean, you've got all kinds of different issues. You've got COVID and the zero COVID regime that they've got in China that's shutting down entire cities, many of them manufacturing cities. You've got the war in Ukraine and kind of the breadbasket of that part of Europe that is running stale right now because it just hard to plant a whole lot of wheat while there's a war raging kind of around you, and then transporting that to the docks is a whole other question. Then you've got the wintertime in the States. I'm just wondering if we're going to go through another fall and then summer of supply chain problems.
The way everybody's been trying to get through 2022, and the way we've been looking at things, and I think we've seen it across the world. A lot of the stuff that was moving towards the end of the peak season during the summer was a lot of backlog. So there wasn't really any new orders coming through. Warehouses are still full. Production was slowing down, like as you mentioned with China. So going into the first quarter of 2023 that's going to sort of dictate. I've always said that February, March is going to be it's going to dictate how we're going to sort of get into 2023, because economically, we see the cost of goods going up, production going down. So something has to give during that time frame. And I think that a lot of the logistics companies are realigning their own internal logistics to be able to kind of put themselves in a state where they can handle 2023. Not as 2022 or not as 2021, because it's a little bit, it's kind of looking a little bit of a downturn. So obviously, if you have overcapacity, if you have too many trucks, if you have too many vessels and so forth, you're going to have to readjust and resize to be able to meet the demand, but also to stay in business, right? I think that's going to be the name of the game, be able to have the right amount of equipment to be able to sustain the operation. And then it's going to be a little bit of an accordion. And as the economy starts picking up, everything starts moving again towards third and fourth quarter. We'll expand out. But I think there's going to be a readjustment period.
Are there a lot of mergers in the transportation industry? Are you starting to see that where once like the consolidation there, like we did in the airline business? Are you starting to see a whole lot of these different shipping companies, entities, forwarders beginning to get into cahoots maybe with their competition and merging in some places or buying out in others?
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of non-core business functions that some of these companies went into because they were forced to go into during COVID. So, a trucking company that had nothing to do with air, for example, had to go into the air business, doing air freight, and now they find it like it's a good fit. So they're going to continue to grow that side of the business, but maybe warehousing wasn't doing that great, and maybe they're going to get out of warehousing. So that's sort of the resizing that's going on. So a lot of companies going out to sort of see what matches for them for the next 5 to 10 years. That's really going to be the key for the survival of a lot of these companies. So there are, I wouldn't say mergers, but more in line of
joint ventures.
Companies that, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
JVs.
Adding to their core business of what they do.
Well, these are those times where you start to have to ask what if questions, and maybe the answer is somebody that used to be your bloodthirsty competition or in an allied and unrelated field all of a sudden is going to be a savior, maybe for both of the companies. One of the components that fed into and led into a lot of transportation issues and expenses of goods when they were finally delivered. We're out here at the end of the supply chain, and we've got our own issues. But you've got fuel surcharges. It feels like the fuel prices are starting to level out. Where are we? $79.56 and change, under $80 anyway for a barrel of West Texas crude. Using that as the benchmark, how is that impact? I mean, it was this time last year. Where was oil? But it's significantly down from this time last year. Are we going to be able to see some kind of a break? Are the shipping companies, truckers, anybody that's doing some hauling based on fossil fuels, are we going to start seeing some breaks there?
Yeah, we're starting to see a break. I think it plays in the fuel sort of plays into the whole dynamics of the way the pricing works, and for example, the trucking demand, where the truckers had the upper hand on the mainland side, has gone down. So now they're actually coming out looking for business. And I think from a shipping perspective, we always have to keep an eye on obviously the fuel, because it takes us a while. It's like a slow turning ship for us. You know, it takes a while for us to be able to react to any change, because even though the barrel may go up, it's not like we can go out to all our ships and vessels and all the million point structures that we have and say, hey, we're raising fuel by 1% because the barrel went up. So it takes a little bit of an equation there to be able to look at the price points right now. But it seems like everything's sort of steady right now. No indication, no serious indications as to anything that's going to sort of keep moving the prices going up. But we're always looking at, and we're always adjusting accordingly.
Yeah.
And obviously, it plays into the big picture of the demand and the ships and everything that we have in the water. So we're always looking at that.
Millions of moving parts all around the nation and the world. The complexity is kind of amazing. But like the U.S. mail, you can figure out how to get something from my front porch to somebody else's front porch without a whole lot of complications and a whole lot of delays, and which I've always been fascinated with your business for, particularly that. 8:29 in the morning. Charlie, always great talking to you. Belated Merry Christmas to you. And I'd say I'd love to see you on New Year's, but I know where you're going to be, and I know how busy you're going to be.
Just stop on by. We'll be there for several hours before ahead of time. So
no, because I'll bring you beer and you're not going to be able to work. I'll go here. I'll go here. Charlie, drink this. Drink.
At 12:01, I will.
Gotcha. Bottom of the hour. I'll see you pretty soon. Happy New Year to you and the entire Bella Wings family. 888-8255. You're very welcome. I just got the feeling that this is going to be kind of a breakout year for them. I have been reading and hearing a lot about the interest in drone technology, UAV technology here on Guam at the University of Guam, and among a bunch of young people who can now be referred to as pilots because they are certified now to be able to run all of that stuff. Before too much longer, I am of the opinion that the next time I need a six-pack of something, or maybe, I don't know, life-saving drugs and pills, I'll be able to call the guy and say, do me a favor, can you go over to Mega Drugs and go to the heliport that they've got there, grab my bag, and then bring it over to my house? And the answer is going to be, yeah, because it's just basically, a couple of trips one way. 831-888-8255, 888-TALK. On the way, we'll take our last big look at news and headlines and maybe a gander at some of the celebrity birthdays. We didn't do celebrity birthdays on Friday, right?
No, we didn't.
And we did not do any yesterday. So I've got a pile of celebrity birthday information that will just wow and amaze our listeners. I tell you, it's ratings gold, and it's coming up next.
Chef Taka serves up his take on traditional Japanese dishes. Taka also features a sushi bar using only the freshest seafood. Nigiri, sushi rolls, and sashimi made to order straight to your table. Lunch specials available served with rice, salad, and soup with savory dishes like tonteki pork chop, which is an island favorite. Dinners is izakaya style, so you may enjoy a variety of items. Come on down today to Taka Restaurant to experience traditional Japanese cuisine served up by Chef Taka. Located in Tamuning next to First Hawaiian Bank, call 671-969-8252 today. That's 969 Taka.
Joyce Broadcasting introduces their unbeatable lineup of morning shows.
Hands down winners of Guam's morning radio battle.
Daryl Lizama grooves his way through Boss 104 playing Guam's favorite classic hits.
Morning mouth Ray Gibson shakes the cage on 93.3 The Point.
And now, we are proud to announce the Morning Blender with Kyle Mandapat, mixing it up at sunrise on Star 101.
If you're an advertiser trying to reach the most valuable ears, we've got the shows that listeners have been tuning into for decades.
One call gets all three.
671-888-7346. That's 888-REIO.
Happy holidays, Guam. From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GVB will announce the theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instaguam to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate the season of giving.
Will there be noodles on New Year's Eve? A customary tradition among the Japanese. But did you know that, that there is a tradition among the Japanese to have at Christmas time KFC? Yeah. Literally, not just fried chicken. Yeah. Literally,
but you
KFC.
know why? I did this for a discussion when I was getting my master's. It started off. It was a long time ago because it was the slowest season for KFC to be selling chicken. Mm-hmm. So they did this marketing thing where they did a commercial that showed families having KFC for Christmas. So ever since then,
Kentucky for Christmas?
Yeah.
I think was the name of the marketing play.
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah.
And
so
it has been a thing. It's memorialized. One of my favorite Japanese movies of all times is called Departures, which is the American name for the movie, and it's a story about a musician and his opera house closes down. He has to go back to his mother's prefecture, and that's the only place where him and his new wife are going to live. And he starts looking for a job, and he finds a job. He thinks he's going to be working for a travel agency, but it's an encoffining service that they have. If somebody dies out away from the hospital, then they send an encofiner out there, somebody to take the body, put it in a coffin, dress it up, and then they take it to go and get cremated. He didn't know that was the job, but he, after a day or two of being on the job, decided, yeah, this sounds like something I want to do, and he ends up doing it. And it's Christmas time at the funeral home. This you're making a face. It's Christmas time, and that was the big feast of the evening, was eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I thought, okay, well, it is a tradition. Virtually every Japanese person I've ever talked to about it even continues it here on Guam. So if you'd like to participate, it's not too late. And they've got those glass things, storage bowls. They got there's added incentive. Pretend to be Japanese. Make it Kentucky and in Japan at Christmas time. All right, Donna D with her last big look at news and headlines right about now. Donna, what happened?
Senator-elect Jussie Lujan, a returning lawmaker who will join the 37th Guam legislature in January, is preparing to draft legislation that will focus on the fight against meth on Guam. Lujan recently met with public safety officials to discuss strategies for combating the importation of drugs to the island, including giving agencies additional tools and resources. Lujan says he will be introducing legislation in the first 2 weeks of January. And a bid to fast-track approvals for much-needed Philippine skilled construction workers is moving quickly. A week after a Philippine congressional delegation visited Guam, Chairman of the Overseas Workers Affairs Committee, Representative Ron Salo, responded with a copy of his report. The committee has directed the Department of Migrant Workers to immediately act on urgent concerns that include establishing a migrant workers office on Guam. And the Toys for Tots program wrapped up their annual toy drive on Saipan, Tinian, and Rota for the 8th year in a row. Camp Blas officials say more than 800 toys were sent from Guam to Tinian and Rota, and an additional 300 sent from Saipan to Tinian and Rota. Micronesian Air Cargo Services and Star Marianas Air provided transportation for the toys to the CNMI. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Wait, hold on, I'm here, but not back to Ray. Back to celebrity birthday.
Okay.
Over the weekend, we weren't here yesterday, so couldn't do it yesterday. So I got them all piled up here, and we'll start with December the 23rd. Celebrity birthdays on that day include Harry Shearer, who you know from The Simpsons, is 79 years old. All My Children star Susan Lucci.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Turned 76. Here's one I know you know. Eddie Vedder of the great rock band Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Happy 58th birthday. And Holly Madison, who took off all of her clothes for Playboy once, is 43 years old. We missed Festivus, which is a Seinfeld skit that we, talk radio guys will talk about to kill a couple of minutes every Christmas time. Other birthdays over the weekend include the guy that's about to get reamed by Twitter, Dr. Anthony Fauci. He is 82 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 82 years old.
He should get a booster.
He should retire. The guy should retire. The guy's been running things, for healthcare.
I thought he did retire.
Well, he's announced his retirement. I don't know if he has actually done that, but I mean, the guy probably should have retired about 20 years ago. But
he's a workaholic.
Oh, whatever.
You're not going to retire.
Never. I'm going to die here. I will die here on the job as long as my mental faculties are continue to work. Anil Kapoor from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Slumdog Millionaire, is 66, and virtually every girl of a certain age on Guam at one point their heart throbbed for a guy named Ricky Martin, who is 51 years old.
Living La Vida Loca.
Then you found out he was gay.
Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
What?
His boyfriend is.
Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, that sounds familiar. American Idol.
Yep, and radio host is 48 years old. And virtually every song in the world, you know all of the words to. Happy 76th birthday to Jimmy Buffett. He ventured into the retail food business.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
Yeah, and he's got one of those restaurants in Hawaii. Don't waste your time. Sissy Spacek is 73 years old.
Ow.
Yeah, dirty pillows, mommy. They're not dirty pillows. They're breasts. You remember the scene? Annie Lennox of Eurythmics in her own solo career is 68 years old. Absolutely love inimitable voice that she's got, and had the good fortune to be able to work with Dave Stewart, maybe one of the best writers and producers that we've seen on that side of the continent since Lennon and McCartney. Who else got a birthday? Justin Trudeau, 51 years
gross.
old. I know, right? Don't like him. He's gross.
Yeah.
He eats his boogers. There's a rumor. That's how we're going to cancel the guy.
Probably true.
That's how we're going to cancel people from now on. So-and-so, booger eater. America's Most Wanted host John Walsh is 77 years old. And then you've got Kit Harington. Do you know who Kit Harington is?
That sounds familiar. He's an actor, isn't he?
He's the very, very pretty boy from the bastard from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, the little midget guy.
No, he's not the little midget guy.
Well, I only know that guy because he was in
Every time they
Avengers.
say Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh, it's the midget guy.
No, it's...
But he's got a great voice, that guy.
Kit Harington. He's a survivor. Anybody that's watched or read Game of Thrones, no, he made it to the end. They didn't kill him off they
What's
killed
his name there?
Oh, I forget. Fupa. What's the guy's name? Come on, Jon Snow. There we go. Somebody already predicted that I wouldn't know. and so put it down.
I've heard of his name only because there are a lot of memes with him.
Ismael. Knew I wasn't going to remember who he was in the movie. Jon Snow, and he had that white dog, the something Beowulf or whatever they call those things. I gave my life to that show. Can I just say I gave my life to that show? And just like every other HBO series, it had just the stupidest end. You'd think that there would have been some... They should have stopped when the little girl knifed the Ice Walker guy, right? And then it was over, and then we didn't have to worry about winter coming. But no, we got to go for another 2 hours. And the last episode, in my mind, absolutely screwed it up, as they did with Deadwood, as they did with... I'm trying to remember what the other one of the series that they had that they just absolutely botched the ending and did nothing but piss people off. It was so bad with Deadwood, they called the actors back 10 years later and said, okay, we've written what we think is a pretty good end of the season, so we'll just do this now after everybody has aged another 10 years. Where are we? 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that's it. You're all done today, right?
Yeah.
You actually did the news?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I just start, hey, what?
Yeah.
What? It's me and you for the next hour and a half, dude.
You and I.
And we can talk boy stuff. We can talk about boy stuff because we won't be a girl around here.
We're still boys.
Boy stuff. Yeah, we're going to be talking about boogers and boobies and farting and beer. 8:41 in the morning of the Ray Gibson Show. More like that on the way after these.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Brad Rizala a while ago asking me not to forget the AFC East champions, the Buffalo Bills, Bills.
Oh,
Boy, I
yeah.
love losing Super Bowls.
Is that Brad in Saipan?
Is that what? Yeah, Brad.
Okay.
Brad's been up in Saipan. He will, from time to time, make himself known on the Gizmo here. It's 8:43 in the morning, and I want to finish a thought that I've had in my head. For the last couple of days, and I just haven't really been able to get it to gel. But the governor is going to be looking at a number of measures in the next day or so, and figuring out how she's going to vote on them, or how she's going to allow them to become law or sign them into law. It's this process. And one of the measures that left the legislature with a unanimous vote, everybody that was there voted to support it, was Bill number 360, which relative to protecting Guam's air, water, land, and the health of its people from the toxic exposure due to open burning and open detonation of hazardous waste. Who's detonating hazardous waste here? Who's responsible? Real Joe, how are you taking care of your old hand grenades and flamethrowers and bullets?
I take it to the landfill.
Take it to the landfill.
It just goes down into the Longfit River.
And eventually down to Pago Bay. Sure. Yeah. Understand. But that kind of how dare you vote no against this? How could you vote, no for safe air and water and land and the health of the people? And I love the way that people will dress all of this stuff up. And it becomes kind of an annoyance. I'm very, very interested in reading up on this, because I wanted to know, as they got through the whereases and heretofores of this legislation, just how many scary words that they could use by way of convincing everybody that if we did not do this, horror, death on an island-wide scale. If we did not do something today to prevent open burning. Like the kind that I do at my house every week.
It's just boxes, man.
Every week. It's boxes.
It's just beer boxes.
They've got these. I figure, there's some places where I get my food from, and they don't give it to me in a styrofoam deal. They give it to me in this like a recycled green thing.
Oh,
You've seen it, right?
I've seen it. Yeah, you can wash those. Use them again. It's
what?
Possible.
What?
I use them again.
Do you?
Yeah. You wash them out.
You are a casino boy.
I learned from watching you, Dad.
Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. But they're also biodegradable. I think that's the other thing that we're supposed to really love about this stuff. So I don't know. Do you stick it in your garden? Is that what it is? You put it underneath your coconut trees and just let for nature to take its course? How long will that last out there? Well, the answer is I don't know. You know why? Because I burn mine. Is why. Near as I can tell, if it's biodegradable, there's nothing in it that can't be burnt. In an attempt to rid myself of the trash and not have that show up in the landfill. So you got a variety of things. So my aluminum cans, I put them in a bag, and I take the bag to Mooling Elementary, and I stick them in the iRecycle bin. You can thank me later, Peggy. And then with like regular paper trash, and as much as possible, I will try to gather up all of the papers. I'm a paper bag hoarder. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time yesterday walking around the house, and everywhere I've got a Christmas present that came in a fancy Christmas bag, or just like a Macy's bag. And Macy's has nice bags. Stax has nice bags. The Jamaican Grill has nice bags, whatever. I mean, whatever something came in that has got a bag with the little handle on it, I generally save those things.
Shout out to those guys that are
I'll
still
need a
giving
new
us
house.
bags. Yeah.
For
your bags?
At the rate that I'm going now, I will need a new house in order to store all of those bags. And every once in a while, I'll get this thing and it's taking up a little bit too much space. So I take the ugly bags, the ones that got a tear in it or something like that, or maybe the store's out of business because COVID. I'll just take those and put them in the pile of things to burn. And then Saturdays or Sundays or whenever I'm kind of bored, it gives me something to do because it requires zero thought whatsoever. Is you start the fire, and I got one of those little things from the Korean store. Fire. You put it on the hairspray, and then it's got a little trigger and a valve. Torch it to it, bro. That way I don't have to sit around like an idiot and try to start a fire with rocks. So I get that going, and usually about 10 or 15 minutes later, I run out of stuff to burn. So I'm doing my open burning. Is it possible that in addition to the pollution, is it possible that I'm also releasing dangerous and harmful chemicals out into the environment? Ladies and gentlemen, I must be stopped. but I don't think there's anything in this measure that will stop me from doing it. Otherwise, let me get you to some of the words, scary words. We're going to use scary words here. Legislation in Guahan finds that open burning and open detonation are based on, quote, dirty technology with virtually no emission controls, which results in the releases of hazardous chemicals such as lead, which has been banned on Guam since 1990. Oh, no. My tire's got a lead thing on it, Joe.
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay now.
It's banned. How did it get on my tire if the stuff has been banned? Highly carcinogenic substances such as strontium and uranium. Doesn't that sound like the scary stuff out of James Bond movies? We'll use a strontium bomb, huh? And it will enshroud the planet with a doomsday shroud. Like that movie, right? Dr. Strangelove. Strontium and uranium. There's dioxins that come out. Get the uranium. We can sell that to the Iranians. And they can use that to make the bombs for North Korea. A dioxin, which is an endocrine disruptor, carcinogenic in small quantities, and a persistent organic pollutant. It has been known to be released as part of the emissions and has been detected in soils at OBOD sites. There's dioxins, Joe. Dioxin's a scary word that goes back to the original, we don't like Wagdy Gurgis, so we're going to make laws that prevent him from incinerating anything and making electricity here on Guam to save us from the ever-rising oil prices because dioxins. What have we got? Where's the rest of this? Well, further finds the pyrotechnic compositions of magnesium and Teflon and Viton, a.k.a. MTV. Widely used in military flares and for igniting the solid propellant of a rocket motor, comprises as much as 45% per, and polyfluoroalkyl substances, a.k.a. PFAS, characterized as forever chemicals, which is the latest scary thing that they've come up with. They couldn't figure out how to scare the hell out of everybody with sharks with lasers or dolphins with lasers, but now we've got the PFAS, and which are highly resistant to naturally breaking down. The practice of open burning and open detonation of military energetic waste containing PFAS will facilitate its release and dispersion, thus exposing our community to substance that can cause health effects like cancer, liver damage, decreased fertility, oh no, and an increased risk of asthma and thyroid diseases. Are we sufficiently afraid now? Do we get to a point where we just want to...
Well, I'm about there, yeah.
Just blanket over the head. I'm never going outside because once upon a time in 1969, they blew up some old bombs at Anderson Air Force Base, and that's it. We've been floating around in a cloud. Keep your mouth closed. Keep your mouth when you're on the base. Keep your mouth closed because you might be breathing in the strontium and the uranium. It's just all over the place here. 4 decades since U.S. EPA promulgated 40 CFR, major advances in technology, yada, 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 yada. Do I have any more of this scary stuff? Use open prohibited hazardous waste activities. Use open detonation to treat hazardous waste with the exception of World War II UXOs until such time that Guam is equipped with a safe alternative, whatever that means. Guam EPA shall require a permit for the OD of WW2 UXO and shall develop permitting rules and regulations promulgated through the AAA law found in Chapter 9 of Title 5 of the GCA, which will take approximately forever. And until the military can do that, what are they supposed to do? Stockpile the stuff? Just lay, just... We have old grenades, old bullets, old bombs that we found out. That we just
put them in phenolique.
Leave them where they are is what's going to happen. They'll just store them in place where they are. And any construction that needs to go on, I don't know, hospital construction. And how tough would it be? How tough would it be, right, Joe? For the guys over at the Navy who've apparently been meeting with the governor on this new hospital thing out at the Angel Field. How hard would it be for them to go, wow, it's too bad you signed that bill into law because, man, just the day after, you know what we found there? It's a big 1,000-pounder. 1,000-pounder. I don't know. It came off one of the ships, Liberation. I don't know how the hell it got out here, but it's here, and we're not going to be able to do anything until we can remove that. So we'll get that done sometime, and I don't know.
2028.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Thanks, Real Joe. Well, thanks for doing the math for me. We'll just go ahead and leave that there. Or tell you what, we've decided that since we can't detonate, we can't do a detonation on these UXOs. Here's what we'll do: is we'll just store them all at Eagles Field. It is Eagles Field, right? I'm using the right
you're
one?
right. Yeah,
okay.
Eagles.
Because sometimes I forget. Not Hal's Field.
No.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, so just not completely impossible for them to derail one of the governor's favorite projects, i.e., put a hospital in that location if you can. But if we found ordnance. If we found an ordinance and the EOD guys with the hot wives couldn't do anything about it, well, we'll just have to hold off on any other activities that take place up there until I don't know, EPA gives us the whatever support that we're looking for. I thought that was interesting only because of the I don't know, just hair-raising use of certain words that I think designed to scare everybody into some kind of submission. And frankly, after COVID-19 and everything else, I am getting tired of all of that. You know, I just need some basic facts here. And can we sit down like adults and talk about another way around this problem? It's not like the UXOs are going to go away anytime soon. How many years is it after liberation? What are we closing in on? 80 years after the liberation of the island of Guam, and we are still finding on a regular basis all kinds of unexploded ordnance and things like that. 8:54 in the morning, so we'll look at a couple of other things in the table of contents, including congratulations to the new SWAT guys. Do you see that? Where they, I guess we had a bunch of guys go through the cycle for. Now you used to be in SWAT, right?
No, never. No.
What?
I was never in SWAT.
Did you couldn't find the right kind of SWAT attire?
No, I didn't have what it took, Ray.
That's not what it is. But what does it take? I mean, now which aisle over at
which aisle at the vitamin store?
No, at Bargain Tactical. what aisle at Bargain Tactical?
All of them, Ray. And all of the aisles, all of the bullets, and all of the guns.
That's what we've got around there. Anyway, I want to say congratulations to. Hope I never have to meet you on the job, so that you get.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where is the story? Where's the magistrate report? Do I have it? Hold on. There it is. Casey Rayfand. I got to get this out of my system because every once in a while they're talking about, Guam's a safe place. And I think the governor's even backed off on that statement, right? Is that we recognize that people aren't necessarily feeling safe in their homes, so we're gonna try to hire more police officers. To which I say, great, more SWAT guys, great, more police cars, great. But the thing is, we need to find a place to put them. And I've got two ideas. Number one is a new and improved Department of Corrections, and then the other one here is deport. Deport. That would make everybody feel a whole lot safer. I don't know where this Casey Rayfand is from. I don't know anything about him until I'd actually looked at it, and I said, man, I've seen that name before, and a lot. And so I did a search on all of my Gmails going back to 2015. And in 2015, like I said, the guy got busted, and among the things he got busted for, he assaulted a dude and then attempted assault on a police officer. And if it just seems to me that that was a fall-down, easy conviction. What happened? How is it possible that this guy was able to get out and commit an offense against this community once or twice or three times a year, every year since then? And I'm not being facetious here. You can take a look. Google it. KC Rayfand. I think there might be a couple of AKAs in this one. But here's a story. On Christmas.
No.
9:54 p.m. GPD officers were called to the Christmas light show at Skinner Plaza in Agana due to a male individual who was harassing people. Officer Balaja met with Billy Chaco, who reported that a drunk man, later determined to be KC, was blocking the road, preventing his family from leaving. He described that he intervened when he heard a little girl yell for help. The defendant was trying to fight her brother, a teenager. And Billy reported that the defendant then threatened to stab him with something from his bag. That threat placed him in fear for his life, the safety of his wife, and 3 young children. Billy described that when the defendant threatened him again and went into his bag. Billy's brother pushed the defendant to the ground to prevent him from getting a weapon into his hands. Billy described the two were separated and they were trying to leave when the defendant jumped onto his car And he felt as if he was punched in the forehead, but couldn't be sure as he was focused on protecting his wife and kids. Billy described that he and his brother held the defendant until police were able to arrive and scrape this guy off the ground. And then do what? So Casey Rayfan has been charged with an account of assault. There ought to be a special allegation thrown in here. Right? Special allegation is on Christmas Day. There should be a thing.
Oh, yeah,
You shouldn't be messing around like that on Christmas Day. You know, get drunk, but go get drunk at the beach and leave people alone. Not over at, of all places, the Christmas light show at Skinner Plaza. That's what's happening around here. There's your moment of safety, if you will. And there's probably a couple of other cases that I thought were kind of interesting. One against a guy named Ray Cruz, no relation to Joe, I'm sure.
I hope not.
But Ray Cruz is this is another one of those cases, and I think there's a measure that the governor is going to be looking at that would help somehow strengthen these stay-away orders. Stalking, establishes protective orders for victims of stalking. We needed that about 25 years ago, but hopefully this one's going to have some teeth. But what's going to happen is a judge is going to, issue one of these statements that says that you cannot go anywhere, you've got to stay away 500 feet. And you cannot have any connections with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, the victims of these crimes. For Ray Cruz, it was merely a suggestion. There's an allegation in here that this guy, this should probably go down as advanced stalking, but there's a word in here that the guy went through something like 20 phone numbers. He'd go to the store, get himself a SIM, stick it in the card, and make contact with his ex. She'd block the number. He'd go to the store and get some more of these things, and just kept harassing her that way. So it's another one of those things where these protective orders that they've got there, just a piece of paper. And unfortunately, we've got a bunch of lunks around here that don't respect that and the wishes of the court and keep getting themselves busted over and over and over again. Closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. What's that beep here? That beep tells me that we got to get ready for Fox News. Radio station is KUSG. I got you 93.3. They say where peak is best. This is The Point.
Storm. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. The number of dead now at 49 nationwide, 27 in New York State from a pre-Christmas winter storm that paralyzed the Buffalo area with blizzard conditions and one of the worst weather-related disasters in its history. The dead found in cars, homes, and in snowbanks. Some died while shoveling snow. Meantime, the nation's air travel system still bogged down.
It's warmed up considerably, but it's still pretty cold in Chicago. The worst of the weather has been out of Chicago now for a couple of days, but you still have a lot of problems at the airports. And the way the spokesman for one of the major airlines told me, you get a lot of planes that get stuck at one airport. They're supposed to be at another. The schedule gets out of sync, and it takes a while when you have a major disruption like this to get all the moving parts back where they belong.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Chicago. South Korea's military firing warning shots today, scrambling fighter jets and flying surveillance assets across the heavily fortified border with North Korea after drones from the north violated the South Korean airspace for the first time in 5 years. A senior Ukrainian government official is optimistic for peace talks in February.
Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba says his government is looking to have a peace summit by the end of February, ideally at the United Nations.
Every war ends as a result of the actions taken at the battlefield and at the negotiating table.
Kuleba says Russia could only be invited to a peace summit if the country first faces a war crimes tribunal. The end of February will mark the first anniversary of the Russian invasion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has proposed a 10-point peace plan that would include restoration of territorial borders and the withdrawal of all Russian troops. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger licking good.
News this hour is brought to you by the friendly and hardworking folks at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, Lolita, and their team of professionals. Contact Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs. Call 671-989-0008 or email hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They are located at 426 Chalon San Antonio, Suite 204, Tumaning, and open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Hoffaday Realty thanks you for your support in Pica's Best of 2022.
The Christmas weekend apparently did not slow down the surge of migrants trying to enter the U.S. once Title 42 ends.
With Title 42 set to expire last week, many had made the journey to the southern border hoping for a better chance to get in. But with the Supreme Court announcing a hold until it hears the case, it's leaving thousands in the cold, not knowing what to do next. Now, even with the frigid weather this weekend, the flow of people to the border isn't slowing down. From Friday to Sunday, CBP sources tell Fox News there were 16,476 encounters over the span of those 3 days. Roughly 2,100 were expelled under Title 42, but the remaining 14,000 were released.
Fox's Jeff Paul. The power is back on for about 11,000 Puget Sound Energy customers in Washington state after a power substation was vandalized late on Christmas Day. Law enforcement saying the suspects broke into a fenced area and vandalized equipment, causing a fire. No one's yet in custody. Former Disney star Orlando Brown entering a plea to assault charges.
Orlando Brown pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor assault charges after an alleged altercation with a family member in Ohio. The former Disney star was taken into custody last week over a domestic violence incident. He was held on $25,000 bond. The former That's So Raven star was charged Friday with aggravated menacing, according to the LA Times. Authorities responded to a call in which they witnessed a verbal argument that they feared could turn violent. A relative, according to the police report, said Brown was acting crazy and came at him with a hammer and a knife in a threatening manner. Brown was invited into the home, according to the relative, because he's homeless and didn't want him in a homeless shelter. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Holiday sales rising 7.6% this year, according to new numbers from MasterCard. I'm Paul Stevens, and this is Fox News.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. Get 100 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome perks like discounts on Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA. Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Happy holidays, Guam. From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GVB will announce the theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instaguam to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate the season of giving.
It's the Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by APL. That's American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And the team over at Subway with the new Subway series, an all-new menu of 12 chef-inspired sandwiches available at all Subway locations here and in Saipan, Brad. Enjoy a whole new way to Subway. Simply order any Subway series sandwich by name or number, and Subway's sandwich artist will do the rest. Now, here's the thing. Some of them might be so crazy different and just not used to the experience. Do what I did. Tell them what your regular order is and ask them of the Subway series which one is the closest to that. I was able to do that with my BMT, and the answer on that one is number 4, sir. Try the all-new Subway series sandwiches at Subway. Eat fresh.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
take some time at some point to read some of this stuff. I got some headlines of the Hawaii Free Press that ought to be concerned. It's certainly concerning if you live in the state of Hawaii, and depending on which county that you live in there, because that's the way they do that. We got villages, they got counties. Yeah. You know, because they're better than us.
They've been getting a lot of most worst lately, Ray.
Well, okay. So here's property owners appeal steep increases in taxes, and the story basically is what used to be a $200 tax on a piece of property is now being charged. The person is being assessed about $120,000.
Oh my God.
And he lives on just $22 a month from Social Security. So I don't know how they're going to be able to get what they believe they're owed, because apparently they've made an increase, and it feels like it's retroactive. There's another story here from the American Dream Prosperity Index that came out recently. Hawaii ranks 30th in overall prosperity, according to the Prosperity Index. The U.S. continues to see a rise in prosperity, even as we face the long-term impacts of a pandemic and the economic realities of rising inflation and a shrinking economy. But while the overall trend points to a prosperous nation, prosperity continues to be unequally distributed regionally, often eluding rural communities and Black Americans. Goes on to say that Hawaii has the worst business environment in the United States of America. And I can't help but think that there might be a ton of guys around here that are going, whoa, wait, hold on just a minute. It might be easy in some places somehow to get yourself a business license, but I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to recently that were just trying to get something going. And the answer is, well, you'll have to wait. You'll need to get an investigation. We'll need to do an inspection of your business. Okay, well, and then what? Well, then we'll determine whether or not that you are inside the rules and regulations currently applied to businesses here on Guam. And you would be surprised at the number of places in these inspections that you can get all caught up. And you sit and go almost for absolutely no reason. I'll give you an example. A pal is trying to get into I forget what the business is, but there is a requirement to have what do they call it? A mop sink.
Oh yeah.
In the building, in the actual premise, you gotta have a mop sink.
Utility mop sink.
Yeah, in the thing, because you might have to have an occasion where, for public health, you might need to mop the floor. And it's not good enough to have it like outside. It's going to be mop sink inside of the place. And I know people that have gone through the process, got a hole in the ground, ran the piping, ran the water, put the mop sink in place, and have never, ever used it. Ever used it. You know why?
Why?
Swiffer.
Yeah, Swiffer.
We've got Swiffer, and we don't need to rinse anything out or wash anything out. We just take whatever the Swiffer picked up and put it in the trash and take the trash out. That's all we need to do. And you know what? The other thing that we have, maybe they didn't have before when the rules were being written. Brawny.
Oh,
there's Brawny.
The quicker picker
the quicker picker-uppers. If something spills, and present some kind of, public health danger, you use the Brawny to soak it up, and then you throw that in the trash. It is absolutely amazing, some of these rules and regulations, and they are absolutely and actively being applied to people, and so what for any other business, any other go around, any other venture, expect that there are going to be some hoops that you're going to have to run into. One of the jobs that I really enjoyed doing early when I first started working here was one of the problems that our stations had was lack of identity. People just didn't know that we were there. Well, we've got frontage on Marine Corps Drive, and so I went to the same company that does the banners and things like that that you'll see. I forget what the name of the area in Manila is. But they've got all these buildings with these huge banners on them.
Oh, yeah.
With
billboards.
Like that. But made it, banner material, right? And so I went to this company and they put it together for me, and they were photographic in nature. 4-color processing on them, and automotive quality paint so that the colors were going to be, as they say in the business, color fast. And so we put them on the building. And we were about on the last screw of the last banner into the building, where up comes a guy from Public Works. Hey, Leonard, what? Off that, Ray. Malik, hey, yeah, Malik, man, what's going on? Yeah, you got to take those down. Why? Do you have a permit? No. I don't have a permit. Why would I need a permit to hang banners on my building? Oh, that's signage, bro. And that started a process that required, it wasn't me, you know me, I'm a path of least action guy, but it required an employee of this organization to go, and everybody knows the rigmarole here. This would be about 2016, 2017. The rigmarole of going to an office where sight unseen, somebody just look, do you have plans? You need plans? Yeah, I need plans. Okay, so drafted up some plans, took them over to a guy, and then he had to have the plans blessed over there. And I said, great, can I put up my banners now? He said, oh, no. You got to go to that guy over there and see him about getting a stamp. And then just the process starts all over again. And so basically, eventually you collect enough stamps, and by then all of my banners had faded. And they got crinkles. I'm an old man. I didn't have a beard before that, but I do now. And it all came out white from the stress that was associated with doing something as simple as just hanging a banner on the building. And so we settled on a small banner that we have out in front, certainly not the one that I wanted. And I want to put some lights up there. But now I'm worried that I'm going to have to go through the rigmarole and the inspections and the certifications to just put up a couple of lights. I'm probably going to require a building permit to get all of that stuff done. Now, I get it. I understand some of the thinking that goes into that. You know, there's a storm. You want to make sure that if these things, they need to be, put together and put in the building up to code. But, it just seems to me that maybe the code needs to be adjusted for certain kinds of things that are, like if you put up one of those, what's his name, St. Nicholas lights at your house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably don't need to worry about that.
No.
But I do, because I work across from DPW and guarantee that there's going to be somebody that says, hey, I'm going to, hey, Lana, you doing there, bro? Hey, you got to stop working. Right now, unless you show me 18 pieces of paper with 20 different signatures on them. Might as well just go to the governor and face in the governor and see if we can just let somebody else do that. 9:15 in the morning, 888-825-588-TALK. A couple of other stories that are floating around out there. And to the degree, I don't know about today. I don't know if he's busy, but remind me that in the next couple of days, I kind of want to reach out to Simon Sanchez and ask them how safe our electrical systems are. And you might be going, well, safe from what? Typhoon, earthquake, that kind of thing? And no, vandals, etc. There was a story, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Keena McCausland will know, where I want to say there was some kind of a substation in Washington State somewhere that a bunch of thugs took out and cut power to like 50,000 people. And it took them a while to get that thing, all repaired and ready for action again. And maybe some of that was brought on by the weather, slower working because of the incredible weather conditions that they've got out there. New story here. Oh, no, maybe this is the same one. Near Tacoma, 3 substations vandalized by burglars. I know those copper saki. They got them there, too. Wouldn't it be interesting to find out the copper sakis in Tacoma actually came from Guam? Hey, you got better copper in Tacoma, right?
Guam's best.
Initially knocking out power to 14,000 homes and businesses, Tacoma Power said earlier this month, we were alerted by federal law enforcement of a security alert for the electrical grid out there. And the question ought to be looming large around here is, how are we doing? How are we protecting our infrastructure from these thugs out there that, will do pretty much anything to get their hands on something that they might be able to take to the Massey and otherwise fence and use that to buy drugs for themselves. It was a problem in the past to the degree that it isn't anymore because of whatever the controls that are in place. I don't know. I couldn't tell you about that. 917-888-8255, 888-TALK. Talk radio on a Tuesday morning, the weekend after Christmas, and the days away from 2023. Now, this would normally be the time where I start talking to you about anybody on the radio needs to start talking about New Year's resolutions. But I'll say this. You're lucky. I'll tell you right now, you're lucky. I'm not going to bore you with any of that because I left that script in the office, and it's too late for me to go back and get it. So I'm not going to. But between now and Friday, I think maybe we'll have a couple of these Ray Gibson Show episodes where we might want to spend some time talking about New Year's resolutions. And I've told you this before. What's happening with my voice? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
It's like a little squelchy noise in it. That's what I sound like when I'm trying to convince people, for heaven's sakes. But there's a book that I started reading right around COVID time. And I'll remember the name of the book or I won't. But I thought it was an interesting read because it was from a woman in the news business. And she wanted to write a book about, New Year's and resolutions and things like that. And she did it differently. She didn't do a year-long resolution. She did them month by month. So, month one.
Small goals here.
Yeah. So nail out a goal for January. And, it was a reasonably good goal for January. Might be one of those, I'll do 10 or 15-minute workout every day, right? Or 3 times a week or something like that. There new information that's coming out now about how exercise as little as 11 minutes a day will help keep COVID-19 away. Now, this is something that healthy people knew about already, and so we were all kind of torqued off when they started closing beaches. And they said, okay, no, the beaches are open if you're doing some kind of an exercise, mental or physical. And I said, okay, well, that's good. At least they've gotten that taken care of. But as little as 11 minutes a week might be sufficient for you to ward off COVID-19. And near as I can tell, it was just as effective as being vaccinated. Having that conversation with a friend of mine as well. But anyway, so put yourself into one of those programs. They are also recommending, of all things, a sober month. Don't look at me. Don't ask if that's on my list. You ever heard of Sober Octobers?
I have.
Yeah,
I never tried it though.
You never tried it, right?
No.
So I know some people that have. And I'll just say that you just don't want to be anywhere near them, like the entire month. And they try, they'll come out to things, and you go, hey, how's it going? Do you want a beer? Oh, it's my sober month.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to be sober for the month. And I'm going, why'd you pick October? There's Oktoberfest in the first week of it. What are you trying to do? Kill yourself? And then they just kind of, but they won't leave when that happens. They don't leave. They just kind of hang around and just be mopey while you're trying to live it up and imbibe and have as much as you possibly can. But no.
Out of here with that negativity, man.
Yeah. Okay. See you in November then. Bye-bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning. So incremental, month by month. And if it was me, is this a leap year, the one that we got coming up?
I have no
28
idea.
or 29 days in this coming September.
Wow.
You haven't checked?
No.
Okay.
Man.
Should know off the top.
But
It's
live one day at a
it's an odd
time,
month. So
Ray.
it's an odd month. So it's like a regular. I don't think there's a leap day that we've got to account for. So maybe if you're going to do a sober month, make it February, because February's only got 28 days in it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning. So Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. We will go until at least 10 o'clock this morning. That's where I'm thinking we're going to head. 20 after the hour. And it wouldn't be the Ray Gibson Show if we didn't have a chance to check in with the intrepid and hardworking Cousin Troy from Candid News. Buenos Janapade. So what did Congressman buy you for breakfast?
Buenos, Merry Christmas. He got me an IHOP breakfast thing, a breakfast platter. It has garlic, fried rice, lots of sausages, and eggs, and of course coffee.
So I was going to say, so our diet starts next week, right?
Hey, I'm a power lifter / maybe bodybuilder, so I have to eat a lot.
I noticed that over the weekend. You looked like you were laying back and lifting what looked like 2 little Volkswagens in either hand over at the gym. Good job.
It's true.
And it's the worst time because it's extremely hot and humid on this island. Like, where did the trade winds go? Did the Sakis steal them?
It literally went. The winds are moving, I think, in the opposite direction. So we had a brunch Saturday over at Pirates Cove. Great time, obviously, and the family were all like excited to be there. But where normally the wind would be coming in from the beach side, there was nothing. But if you went on the other side, if you went on the street side of Pirates Cove in front of the store, boola, the wind was just crazy up there. Manglo. So I think it turned where the winds were actually. I checked the windy app and it looked like the winds over the weekend were coming from the west side. So it's just a question of where your windows are.
Oh, well, it's hot.
It's hot, and it's hot. And it was hot over the weekend. They were originally predicting that we were going to be in for a lot of rain and thunder and showers, and it didn't look like that started happening around here until yesterday, and in particular down in the south, and then oddly up in Rhoda. In fact, the channel up in Rhoda might still be swamped with a whole bunch of ugly weather. Looking at the map, it sure is. We've got yellow and ominous red portions washing over just Rhoda right now. If you're in Tinian and Guam, weather's exactly the same. But if you were in Rhoda, inundated right now with some heavy weather. 9:23 in the morning. Now you and I were chatting a little bit online over the weekend. I remarked about what a great-looking and growing family that Candid has turned into. There, some really, really incredible people here on Guam. You've got at least one incredible person on the ground up in the NMI, and you said they were working yesterday. The Saipanese the legislature was meeting.
I was wrong. It's today.
Oh, it is today.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like the Scrooge in the movie. Okay, Christmas hasn't passed yet. There is more testimony going to be given in the Boost case up in the NMI.
Yes. One of the what seems to be major players, according to the testimonies that have come forth already, a guy named Jesus Kaisegui, who is the director of the Bureau of Economic Development within the CNMI Department of Commerce, and apparently also a member of Governor Ralph Torres' Central Executive Committee for his campaign.
Right.
And his boss, Secretary of Commerce, Ed De Leon Guerrero, he testified on Friday and essentially sold this guy out and was like, wasn't me. It was Jeff Kaisegui who made these decisions on my behalf. I appointed him to be at these meetings and to be the one to review these applications, et cetera, et cetera. And, what are these things that the CNMI House is looking at or has already uncovered? We're talking about a 10% marketing budget to cronies of the governor to give away $11 million, so about $1 million in marketing that was just pissed away. You could have written one press release that says, hey, we're giving money away, and you would have accomplished your goal of marketing the program.
Right, but otherwise, we've hired on to the tune of $11 million, different agencies, different, I quote, public information and public affairs people?
No, those are the grants given so far, about $11 million. They spent $1 million, which is about, nearly 10% of that amount, on marketing alone.
I see. Okay, I see. I see. So $1 million went into the marketing of the program. Did they get any like cartoon characters out of that? Was there a jingle created? Is there anything substantial?
There was a logo, and it's an ugly logo too. A logo that was created for $100,000. That was the price tag.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
You're kidding. You can get that. You can get that at Canva, for God's sakes.
Yep. And there's it was something I was thinking about this morning. All these Guam people who made a mad dash for this money in the CNMI meant for CNMI companies that struggled during the pandemic. And I thought, if the government of Guam, if the people of Guam ever found out that GovGuam, that the Leon Guerrero administration stood up a program and allowed a raid of funds by people from the CNMI to just come here and just take those funds and then split, we would be up in arms. And I'm so surprised that's not. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is happening in the CNMI now. I'll ask our vote and how mad people are at the people of Guam for this. But really, we've got a bunch of thieves from Guam who went up there just to get money and come back home with the money.
Well, spend some here with me. You can buy advertising here and at Candid if you want to. There's a lot of questions that seem to be coming out of each and every one of them, but it's clear that there was a conspiracy of one kind or another that starts at the governor's office and kind of works its way through what sounds like virtually the entire administration with some help from Guam players.
And that's why the FBI is up there. That's why there are. There's been sightings of several, like scores of federal agents in Saipan. That's why we've had at least 2 very public visits of FBI agents. One at a raid at the Department of Public Safety on the day that the investigation started, and another, according to John Arroyo, a subpoena of documents from Bank of Saipan. And let's not forget that even the Bank of Saipan connection, this is Guam people, yo. John Arroyo is
Oh yeah. See, there are well known, and I saw the list of the members of the family up there, and yeah, I tell you what, there might be some notable Saipanese names that you will recognize, but as far as the ownership of significant share portions, that's all Guamis, and in fact the Calvo family, members of the Calvo family.
I mean, Guam has fingerprints all over this. It really isn't game. And it's embarrassing.
Well, yeah, to the degree that, as you point out, there are businesses and individuals, businesses small and large, that should have been able to apply for and compete equally for those dollars. And it looks like the decisions on where they were going to go, who they were going to benefit, were made even before the money made it to Saipan.
Yeah, and that money's gone now.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it's one of the questions, underlying questions that I would be interested to see is just who and how will they be held accountable? Will there be district court judges being appointed to come out here and apply themselves on these cases? Will anybody do time in any of these cases? Will anybody be debarred from working with the governments of Saipan and Guam, in fact, as a result of all of these investigations? Anybody get, in the very least, pay the money back?
At the very, but that money's gone. It's gone. And now the line from the Torres administration is, if you were one of the 4,000 remaining applicants, and you're not the lucky 241, and you didn't get boosts, just wait for the Palacios administration, and if they figure out whether they're going to give you the boost, knowing that there's no more money.
Yeah, we've depleted the treasury. Well, every story is a local story, and as you said, there are prominent and notable names of Guamanians that appear to be driving some of this corruption in the NMI, and we'll just have to watch and see what happens if there's any more of this, any more of these tentacles, these boost tentacles up in the NMI that reach down into Guam and become stuff of local investigations.
Well, here's some local politics baseball for you. Did I make the sports analogy correct?
Yeah.
I keep hearing that the Republican Party on Guam is quietly defending their former Senator Will Castro. And I should probably send a note over to Juan Carlos and the party officers and ask them, how they feel about Will Castro's involvement in this whole thing. But I keep hearing that they want him to run for governor in 2026. And if I were Lieutenant Governor...
Where? Here?
Yeah, here. If I were Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, I would write the Republican Party of Guam a check right now and volunteer to pay for all of the pocket meetings for a gubernatorial candidate, Will Castro, because that's just crazy.
Well, he was the presumptive congressional delegate for the Republican Party, and a couple of elections ago, I remember when that happened. Going, wait a second, I know enough people in the Republican Party. There's no such thing as a presumptive delegate candidate. You run, you either are a candidate or you're not a candidate, and if somebody else comes and runs against you in the Republican Party, they're just as presumptive as you are. I thought that was kind of a stretch of political logic when that declaration was made. He ran, lost, and is now working his work up in the NMI.
He loves those big words. I thought the Republican Party did well with, choosing Felix Camacho to be their standard bearer in this election. He didn't prevail, but man, I mean, you're looking at an honorable man. Someone like Tony Atta, honorable man. But if it's true that they're putting their eggs into this Will Castro basket, I mean, that would not be the Republican Party that my dad told me we belonged to.
I think that there might be some people that share that feeling, that share that sentiment. Surely there are others who have distinguished themselves in our political arena. And I always thought it was interesting. Go find somebody over at, not Weights and Measures, but DMV over at the at Rev and Tax. I remember those people were silently up in arms when there was a piece of legislation moved by Will Castro that would provide driver's license parity to members, to people up in the NMI that come out here and, if you got a CNMI driver's license, you can get a Guam driver's license. And there are people on Guam going, whoa, hey, time out. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know how these people learn to drive, and they're going to be this going to be okay here on Guam. There were bureaucrats over at Rev and Tax at the time that were against the idea, but couldn't publicly say so.
Well, I'll tell you, Saipan drivers are better than Guam drivers. I don't have any road rage in Saipan.
Well, it's hard. Aren't that many cars? Gasoline's much more expensive there, and it ain't that big a place at the end of the day. And I don't know. I've never had road rage up there as well, but it's always been kind of an entertaining place to get around and drive in, just because it's so small, and you can still complain. It's like you're up in Garapan and says, hey, so let's go drive to the place. And, oh man, that's a soupy. That's so far. What, Coblerville? Really? Are you serious? I ain't got that kind of time.
I've got one road rage hashtag for you.
Oh,
get it go.
Oh my God. Anything that is north of about St. Paul's Christian School. Anything from there all the way up to the edge of Route 16 and the Micronesia Mall and everything up past that whole stretch up and down Route 16, from there to the edge, and you just go, really, come on now, people, can we get this together? It almost, I was going to say, it almost feels like the Philippines, but at least in the Philippines, you get that sense of crazy adventure. All right, so there we go with interesting stories from up in the NMI. Interesting, made much more interesting because of the names of individuals that seem to be deeply involved in this. This will be fun to watch for the next couple of months, I think, but between now and I guess inaugurations are going to be happening up there. Around here.
Yeah, on January 9 is their inauguration.
Okay. So we got a week to celebrate Doug Moylan being in office. I'm proposing to put together some kind of, I might be able to find the code to do it on the website. Is the countdown to the inauguration of Doug Moylan as Attorney General on Guam.
I can't wait.
Day one. You just know day one it's going to be crazy. You just know day one there's going to be all kinds of stories and releases coming out of his office.
Did you know that I'm the MC for his inauguration?
Oh, he got a good one then. Okay, yeah, I was.
I've never been so honored before. Like that's just such a freaking honor.
Yeah. Well, he'd approached me, but I have got other obligations.
We turned him down.
Yeah, we turned him down. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm glad that you are going to be doing it. I think that's going to be far and away very, very appropriate that you've got Candid, who is out there helping expose these stories and these issues that nobody else in the government seemed to care about. And then now you've got Doug Moylan, who has heard all of those Candid stories and other sources that are saying things just aren't right around here, and can we find somebody to finally get it done? Never mind all these stateside civil suits that we can get involved in and conversations that we can participate in. We've got work to do here on Guam. We've got KC Rayfan. And just as an example, from today's headlines, from this weekend's magistrate reports, I read earlier a story about a guy named KC Rayfan who has got magistrate reports with his name on them and AKAs, aliases, going back to 2015 on my computer, maybe even earlier than that. And this guy has just been rotating in and out of the jailhouse for years. And I'm going, when is somebody going to put this guy away for good? He's obviously he's obviously not ever going to straighten himself out.
Troy, did you see him there? He was at the lights. He was at the Christmas lights.
Oh, he was. Were you
Troy
at Christmas light?
was there, too.
He was at 9:45 or something like that on Christmas night. Is when this guy most recently made himself a nuisance. But and he's been a nuisance in Agana for a long time. We've got a story. This will tell you the age of this story. On or about September 20th. 10:30 p.m., officers responded to the Proa restaurant in Agana. Okay, there hasn't been a Proa restaurant in Agana for a long time. This story goes back to 2016. And this guy made himself enough of a nuisance that one of the guys that worked over at Proa at that time was a 2A guy, was a gun-carrying dude, and he had to pull a gun out on this guy Casey, because Casey was coming after him with a pipe, and he said, look, I've got a gun. Here, look at my gun. I have a gun, and I will shoot you. I don't want to shoot anybody today, but I will shoot you. The only thing that he did wrong was he fired a warning shot, and Ray Fan eventually ran away. And I'm going, I don't know, a guy coming at you with a pipe. I'm sure we'd be able to stand our ground on that one and not have an issue with this. But he was later arrested, terrorizing, assault, reckless conduct, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, criminal trespass, and that's just one of easily a dozen magistrate reports. And why is this guy still out?
I mean, the general answer I can give you is because our current Attorney General just didn't care about his prosecution division. And
well, I mean, but this one predates Levin Camacho. This 2016 when this happened.
No, maybe that was his first offense, and the system gave him a chance. But all the magistrates after that should have been a signal to the prosecutors to stop giving plea deals.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they continue now. Last week, I was annoyed at a story where a molester, was it somebody was touching or exposing himself to a 13-year-old? Suspended sentence. That's how we take care of our girls in this town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this guy's not going anywhere, and maybe his name is going to show up on a list somewhere, but not doing anybody any favors by letting him by suspending his sentence and not sending a message out. And in fact, today's front page of the Guam Daily Post, you've seen it. Man accused of using social media to expose himself to a teen on the internet.
Yeah, that's did the feds pick that one up? Or is that a local thing?
I think it's might be local. Told police here.
They should send that one to the feds.
Yeah, I might take a look. Well, maybe they'll do some kind of prosecution and for real penalties against this guy. Anyway, 9:39 in the morning. So much to talk about, so much to do around here. I can tell that you're wolfing down a meal here. Next couple of days, I'll swing by the office, give you and Erica a visit, and see what's going on.
Oh, yeah, and maybe if Stephanie Flores makes another latita that has a French toast base as the bread for it, we may share it with you. And I just want you to know that I am never going back to regular latita ever again. And if anyone gives me any regular latita, I'm going to be like...
Wait. So who's your new latita connect?
Flores.
Who's that? Stephanie Flores?
Stephanie Flores. Oh, my God.
Isn't she with Adelup? She's with Adelup. Yeah.
Is she with Adelup, Stephanie?
Yeah, that's Stephanie, yeah.
That's
Josh,
Stephanie.
Josh is, sorry, the lieutenant governor is, actually no. The lieutenant governor is, I think, senior advisor. Anyway, so she met me at Ture yesterday because I'm always commenting about all her baking stuff, and I'm like, I want some. So finally she made me a latita. And if anyone gives me regular latita ever again, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, is this for the peasants?
I don't want your crumbs.
Yeah, you have to try this. I mean, don't take any of mine.
Right. Well, I don't know if anybody at Adelup is talking to me, but I'll work on it. 9:40 in the morning. Cousin Troy, you have a fantastic rest of the day. So the hearings will continue this morning. You will carry them on Candid?
Yes, at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. All right, be on the
check out our story about the Archdiocese and Jungle Watch's stories about the mess that has become the Archdiocese of Licania. This is something to really watch out for, considering how much of a force the Archdiocese was and can be politically, socially, and culturally in our island.
I was just reading. I was thumbing through a book that's in the family library that was written, I believe, by Bishop Alano back in the day. And if not him, then Baumgartner, one of the original pillars of the church back in the Second World War, and how important a thriving church was during the occupation, and to what degree somebody like a Father Duenas was needed here on Guam because of the marauding hordes of Japanese, and it was written very, very clearly in the letters that he had written to others in the church, outside of the church, about all of the atrocities that were committed by the Japanese on the women of Guam during the war, and how it was only people of the cloth, and in particular Father Duenas, that was able to stand in the gap between these horny Japanese soldiers and literally young ladies of Guam.
May I borrow that book at some point?
It's so old it's kind of coming apart, but it is there's some interesting reads in there. I'll see if I can get a couple of photographs and snaps out to you. And it's in the family library because they actually mentioned my grandfather and my Auntie Nancy that were here on Guam during the liberation of the island. Anyway, 9:42 in the morning. Yeah, I'll see if we can peruse it together. I'll make you wear gloves. But like I said, it's an important document and important documentary of what life was like around here and how important the church was. And I say was, I did see the headline on the Candid talking about how it feels to be like in a disarray, but it feels like. And I don't know to the degree that a non-practicer like me can say it feels like it's that way from the Vatican down to our archdiocese.
Yeah,
it feels like everything that the church used to stand for and stand up against is now it's okay. Just hey, people are people, love is love, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a big discussion going on Jungle Watch. Matter of fact, very interesting. And these are such well-written stories that they have over there by Tim and Frenchie. They're academic discussions, but they just make so much sense, and they're so interesting to read.
Absolutely. And interesting to hear from these guys. 9:43 in the morning. I'm going to let you guys get a bigger name on line two of somebody who had once upon a time anointed as the person of the year. Her name is Peggy Denny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you all.
All right, I'll talk to you pretty soon, cuz. Yeah, have a great day, Mr. Letizia. That's nice. Peggy Denny's on the line. Good morning, Peggy. How you doing?
Oh, good morning, Ray. Merry Christmas. I'm doing very, very well.
Well, I saw your name in the paper with iRecycle, and you guys made up enough money in aluminum cans around here that you were able to send some checks out to schools and teacher outfits and organizations that could use that money.
Well, it all goes to the schools.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6 cubic yard bins at 49 schools, because the Japanese school has one as well. And so it took a while to fill a 40-foot container, particularly because COVID had occurred during that time as well. But we shipped off the 40-foot container of baled aluminum cans that were collected from the schools, and we received 75 cents a pound, which was just marvelous. We received $17,400, and that was divided up among the schools based on the number of times each school filled their bin. So a full bin at 75 cents a pound was $105, and it was just awesome being able to deliver these wonderful checks just before Christmas break and the holidays.
What are they going to use the money for? Do you know?
Oh, the schools use it for a number of things. I don't know what the status is at this point, but St. John's used to save it to purchase solar panels. Other schools use it for playground equipment. Some schools use it for books. It's just it's a wide variety of things that the money is used for, but it's always to benefit the students.
Well, I'm trying to do my part here. We'll go through a couple of how do I want to say this without sounding like an alkie? I don't know that there is.
But just go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of people come to my house and drink beer. How's that? Can I do that one? And oftentimes I'm left with a number of cans that I'll bag up. I've got a little thing, and I meant to ask this question, actually. This is the number one question in my head with this. Do you want the cans crushed already, or is your preference at iRecycle that they're kind of in virgin shape here, uncrushed, undented, that kind of thing?
Yeah, the preference is that they are uncrushed. You could give the can a little squeeze if you want to make a little bit more room.
Yeah.
Have a bag that holds a bit more. But the reason that we request that is because when Mr. Rubbishman goes to service the schools, now they play a vital role in the iRecycle program and are one of the Guam Business Partners for Recycling, and I work with their dispatcher. And when they go to service the schools, they don't have a scale on their truck. So we we have no way of weighing how much a full bin weighs.
I see. So if we're just going by volume, there might be a whole lot more cans in there, but we can't tell because they're crushed. So we'd be missing out. I mean, the bin might be full, but there's actually more weight in it with more cans that have been crushed.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so we try our utmost to make sure that the bins are filled all the way to the top and all the way back to be as uniform and consistent as possible. And then the schools are paid basically on the number of times they've filled their bin.
So one of the problems that I had, and I used to live pretty close to Carmelito Elementary, one of my problems was I had 2 or 3 of these bags of aluminum cans, you know, from soda, medicine, whatever, the stuff that comes in aluminum cans. But I went by Carmelito, and their I Recycle bin is on the other side of the fence. And so it's difficult for me to, got time to do this on the weekends, and I wasn't able to drop it off. They eventually ended up at Tamuning Elementary's bins, and I'm glad that maybe they were able to participate in the program, get some money. But is there a best time for these kinds of things, or is there an iRecycle that I might have 24-hour-a-day, 7-day access to?
Well, I mean, some of the schools are definitely more challenging to access than others. Oftentimes, though, I've noticed with Carmelito that particularly if they have late afternoon programs or whatever, that their gates are open until 4:30 or 5.
Oh, okay.
But if that's not convenient for someone, then you can take cans to St. Francis, because their bin is, as you're facing the church and school, it's on the far right at the back. Father Duenas is usually accessible. I'm trying to think. Well, if you're down south, in Arahan Elementary has no gate, so it's always accessible.
Okay.
So there. But then, if somebody, this is one thing that I really am trying to aggressively promote. If someone has a stockpile of bags of cans and they need help getting them to a school, all they have to do is call me or WhatsApp me, and I will come get them, and I will take them to the school of their choice.
Ah, that's right, because somebody gave you a big-ass truck recently, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Triple J.
There we go. There we go.
And it's wonderful.
All right.
I've already put almost 30,000 miles on it since I got it.
I believe it. And an opportunity to give a plug for some of our favorite business people on Guam to help out in such a big way. 9:49 in the morning. What are you going to be doing next year? We all went through COVID-19 and a whole lot fewer activities and massive social gatherings here on Guam, but it looks like that's changed. Now the COVID seems to be in the rearview window permanently here. Are you going to be creating another army of environmental leaders around here amongst our young people? Can we look forward to another big, huge iRecycle competition at the Liberation Parade?
Well, I don't know. I'll just have to see how things go. But we will be recycling at the Indigo Music Festival that's taking place weekend after next. It's a 2-day event, and I will have students assisting me who need service learning hours. And so this is the type of thing that I really want to help promote, because this is certainly an important endeavor that I think students should be involved in.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing to the Indigo? You got to dress up.
To me?
Yeah, you got to dress up. I mean, I know somebody can put like glitter in your eyebrows if you want.
Dude, I wear Bahakis because I searched through trash the whole time.
I know it. With her bare hands, ladies and gentlemen. Peggy, always a delight talking with you, and I'm glad a program that you and I raved about in the beginning is continuing, and schools are being able to take advantage of it. I'll sort it out.
Exactly.
You mentioned a couple of places. You know, I've always liked Carmelito because I lived right down the street from there. But it occurs to me that I'm an MTM guy, and my school to support, if it's not my alma mater, Father Duenas, should probably be San Miguel. Down the street.
Yes, and San Miguel can always use help. And once again, if the school isn't accessible, then just call me. I'll come get your cans and take them there.
All right. Well, Groovy, I'm glad that I can use that as an option as well. What's the easy way for people to get a hold of you? There might be, I mean, there's sadly some businesses that went offline during COVID, but there's a whole bunch of new businesses that are coming up that would like to find a way to help you and the environment out. How do we get a hold of you?
Yeah. You just call me or WhatsApp me at 483-9415.
483-9415. The name you're asking for is Peggy Denny, and she always gives me a hug because she knows she can't shake. I won't shake her hand because she picks up trash with her bare hands.
But I do wear gloves now.
Oh my God! About time.
You know.
Oh my God! I'll hug and kiss her anywhere you want, but I tell you, as a shake hands, I don't know. Elbows. You have a great day, and congratulations to the program. I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, Ray.
Nah, you know we love you.
Day.
All right, there it is. That's why it's so hard. You know, you start thinking about, and we should. There ought to be a competition, and people ought to be working really, really hard to sort out who should be Guam's Person of the Year. You know, Time did it with Volodymyr Zelensky. They said him and the Ukrainians are the people of the year for Time magazine. Whether you agree or disagree, I personally just think that, you know, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, the war is bad and Russia and Putin's a bad guy. But I don't know. Just too many. There were too many questions about Ukraine before the war. And it seems we're not asking those questions now anymore. Yeah. And so what do I got to do to get that kind of attention? I went to Bargain Tactical 511. I went to the 5.11 place to see if I could put together one of those Volodymyr Zelensky outfits. And just because if you do
have the sweater,
people will give you money. They're giving more money to Ukraine to help solve their, to seal their borders and protect them from the Hun than they're giving us around here. And I'm going, oh, hey, how about we take care of our homeless? Can you help us take care of our homeless? Can you help us take care of our veteran community here on Guam? Some of the money, I'm not asking for all of it. A small percentage of the money that is flowing to Ukraine right now could solve an awful lot of programs, solve a lot of problems here on Guam. Unfortunately, the legislature wouldn't be able to get their fingers on it. Be all Luli and Guerrero spend, and they'd declare another emergency, and we'd use sole source procurement, which. And I know you want me to get to a break because I haven't done one this hour, which is kind of an interesting story that is in the newspaper as well, and it has to do with. Is it in today's? There it is. That machine they have over at Public Health, the one that's supposed to be $25,000 worth of machine here that is supposed to quickly identify variants of COVID-19.
Oh, that diagnostic machine with no toner.
No toner. We don't have. Apparently, apparently everything that we need is there. They just said procurement is stalling local testing of COVID-19 variants. Most of the supplies for the machines are available. It's just a matter of the genome sequencing needs to be placed in a room. This is according to Dr. Robert Leon Guerrero. And he says, so this great Guam wall is all that needs to be built in the public health building in order for the machine to be working. It needs to be contained in a certain area. That's the problem we're having, the procurement for building up that wall. And I'm going, what? How? We've been sole source procuring since the beginning of COVID-19. All you got to do is say, this is what we want, and the government of Guam can go find somebody over at Tendon Gibetnu who might be available to build a wall. And hang the cost. I mean, that should all be spent with CARES money, right? So what do you mean you just haven't figured out who in the construction wall building game you're going to show some administrative love to? Which one of you donated the most money to my campaign? Who donated the most money to my inauguration gala that's going to be coming up? Is that what the holdup is? We're giving everybody a chance to make their best and most significant. Just Adaya, say BJ Cruz is watching you. Whatever. What is it? We're not going to say. What is it? God is not sleeping. BJ is not sleeping. Doug is not sleeping. Right, that's it. That's the phrase. There ought to be a T-shirt. Rush Romeo. Romeo. Where's my T-shirts? BJ's not sleeping. That would be the watchword for the next couple of years. At any rate, so you got that story now. Well, that might end up being the biggest head scratcher that I've gotten, which is why Jolene Tovas and the people over at the Post put it way there on page number 6. We've got the machine. We've got the equipment. Somebody read the manual. We just don't have a wall to put up in this room where we need to get it done. Here's another thing that you know what? Just go. Maybe there's room over at what's the place? The Pac Star.
Oh yeah, it's pretty empty over there.
Yeah, they got rooms with 4 walls on it. Oh my God! No more 19th floor parties. Oh, we got one more excuse for a 19th floor. That's where we have the sequencer. Where? 19th floor, baby. Come and get sequenced. You haven't done. You haven't lived until you've been genome sequenced. Can I have some of your vital bodily fluids in order to process this sample? I'm sorry. You know how I get late in the program. 9:57, and just a couple of things. California news. Apparently, we've got a new law in California. Something about the freedom to walk. Jaywalking will no longer be a crime in California under this new law. Californians will soon be able to jaywalk without getting ticketed, allowing pedestrians to informally cross streets as long as it's safe to do so. Now, there's a part of me that says it's just idiotic left-wing thinking that we've got to figure out a way to just do something about in the next couple of years. But I'm also the guy. They've got an intersection over in what used to be the old Agania Theater.
Oh, yeah.
There's an intersection there. And I would say that any time outside of, say, 7 o'clock in the morning and about 6 o'clock at night, we don't need an intersection there. There's just no need for it. There's not a whole lot of Agania emptying out onto Marine Corps Drive at that intersection. And there aren't a whole lot of people that make that turn in there. Many folks have either done it over by where Carabao is, or they'll just wait until they're in Anigua, another 500 feet, and just make that turn against traffic without having to worry about a light. So why do we have that there? And so if you've been behind a gray truck that just kind of went against the red, man, I don't know who that guy is. Man. I don't know who that guy is. Police need to do something about that guy. He just doesn't care about any of the laws or rules or anything. Oh, darn, didn't get around to playing any commercials, but I only got 60 seconds left. Another story coming out of California, and I want to say that most of the businesses are getting involved there, but and I'll see if I can get more details on this and share it with you. But many of the businesses in the great state of California are asking for a rebate in their taxes because the cities and the counties in the state are doing nothing to keep the cities clean, to keep the homeless from taking up positions and building their own encampments all over the place. We're not standing up and helping out the police departments, and the crime rates, rapes and murders and robberies are going through the roof. And a lot of businesses are saying, we want our money back, especially the businesses that now have to hire up their own security in order to keep their businesses safe, because you can't call the police anymore. Stupid California. Hey, I got to go because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. KUSG had gotten you. We are Pika's best. This is The Point. Thanks for listening.
A possibility for peace. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba telling the Associated Press that Ukraine still wants to hold a peace summit with Russia around